to the time when everything was easy to learn. Don't know when it started to get so serious, building up an illusion of a world full of trust. Moving on when everything's gone, it's hard to be strong. Confusion in my mind, no way to turn
Hello and good Animorning.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi. Good morning.
Today is day 2 of the
We're
Animorning
off to a good
challenge.
start.
And Patrick's here.
And Patrick's here.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you
Sorry,
doing?
I didn't know who was starting it, and then Michael started it, and then there was a pause, and you was like,
Hi.
and then I was like, wow, we're off to a great start.
Yeah.
But we are, because, boy, things sure are feeling heavy right now.
Heavy.
Speaking of heavy,
Segway. So natural.
looks like we're gonna be reviewing some weighted animations with weight and heaviness and.
But wait, there's more.
What?
Oh.
Is there?
No, I just wanted to say that.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, because I got it. But wait.
Yeah.
Oh! I'm really slow this morning. I'm not
You gotta
getting
be
any
more
of the
obvious
jokes.
with these things.
India.
What?
But wait.
I get it now.
There's more.
I get it now. You could say that I've been enlightened.
There's more weight in my butt. Because I don't know how to say no to that extra donut.
And also because I sit on it all day, every day.
This is very true.
Yes.
We should probably start the stream. They're listening to us, but they can't see what we're doing.
Good. They wouldn't want to see what we're doing. Nefarious things.
Is your screen good to share?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at all these gorgeous. You've got like 30 people in the chat already.
Look at that. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
You are the most beautiful
Today,
30.
a bird, a bear, and an awkward potato will be reviewing your animations.
Yes. We got through 8 yesterday, and we have 1,
Wow.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go today.
Ooh.
Is that right, Mike? Did Ola's come in?
Ola's should be there, yeah, at the end.
Okay, cool.
Is it Ola or is it Ole?
I'm not sure. I say Ola, but I don't know if
Or is
that's
it just Ol?
correct. I think I looked up how to pronounce it once, and I've been doing my best to mimic
That's how you
that.
say like. That's how you say like old, but like, if you're an old man, you're like, oh, it's down at the old mill.
Ola
You
says
can tell
no
it's
one
super old
knows.
because we dropped the D off years ago.
Hopefully, I'm not butchering it too much.
Because
Oh wait,
no
there
one
it is.
knows.
I can see it. So we have 7 to review because there's one there with no notes. That must be it.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Alright, I'm gonna play it through so we can see.
Let's do it. Whose is this? This is
It's Evelyn.
Evelyn's own art studio. The entire studio created this beautiful animation.
Yes. The entire studio is also in chat. Hello there, Evelyn.
Hey, Evelyn.
I can totally tell this is
Hello.
Delaire. We're starting off the morning with a TMNT one, which is awesome. Brings me great happiness.
Kudos to building an environment.
Yes. Getting that grid in there.
Wow,
Nice.
this is ambitious.
Yeah! Look at him go!
Nice. We've got a grid. We've got an environment. We've got 3 characters in said environment. Very nice.
Mhm. I really like Leo's foot placement at the end there. Like, feels nice and solid.
Feels Leo as well.
Yay!
I love these type of ambitious submissions. I'm kind of curious to hear from the animators what they learned simply by attempting this.
Yeah,
You know, because sometimes just the act of doing something that you're not comfortable with or that is like a little bit extra will teach you things.
yeah. This must have taken a long time too, because they're very clean. Did Evelyn say anything on the form, Mike?
She did, I just found it. She said, I learned a bit about speed and how you move when moving heavy objects.
Interesting. Yeah, I really like this bit when Mikey first picks it up and you kind of get that swing back between the
nice
leg.
hits.
Like, that's really nice to have that kind of pendulum motion.
Was there any reference shot for this, I wonder?
Evelyn, let us know. Evelyn says, I'm so new that everything is an experience. I'm on month 3. No reference.
No reference. Wow, very good.
Yeah. I say when you bring him up here, you probably want to keep the feet apart rather than snapping them together until he starts stepping forward. This body language
Or
is
if you
really
are going
nice.
to bring them together, or if you are going to bring them together, maybe accommodate for the mechanics of it.
Yeah, have him step or something.
Yeah.
Rather than the feet just snap. Like, it's nice body language having him bring it into his center here, which is what you would do. I would say if he's going to take his hand off the back of it and then bring it to the front, it'd be nice to like show his other hand having to take on that extra weight. Since now he's...
Or like roll it maybe into the crook of his elbow or something.
Yeah, exactly. He would adjust his grip slightly if he was going to take one of his hands off the bowling ball. So maybe just have that ball nestle into like Patrick said, the crook of his elbow would be nice. Have his stance adjust slightly for that. Because otherwise you lose a little bit of the feeling of the weight of it.
As he was stepping, even though it's direct profile, I am noticing some inconsistencies with the head. In these situations, if it's straight profile, like, don't feel guilty if you copy and paste the head.
Yes.
And move it around. I do that all the time, and that helps with keeping those volumes consistent.
Yeah. Especially in the case of the turtles as well. Because they have very similar head shapes from the side and from the 3/4 and from the front, you can probably just get like that general shape and use that for many of the different positions of the head just by tweaking it slightly. Yeah, I like that little overshoot here. It might be nice to show that swinging backwards slightly in space as well. Just so rather than straight down, we get that kind of pendulum feeling again of as he lets the kind of ball drop on the end of his arm, it has a little bit of a swing in space. Oh. Comes back
How you
towards the
doodling?
camera just slightly. Putting a little arrow on. I'll just put some notes on here. If there's anything else you see, Patrick, feel free to call it out. I'll just write these notes down.
Yeah. I was gonna let you kind of finish out your notes. I do have some thoughts on specifically Mikey's posing and just kind of like plussing it a little bit. I think what we have is strong and is working, and it's really just kind of about taking what is here and then amplifying it. One thing to consider as India is drawing these notes is Mikey isn't moving too much once he picks up the ball, which is fine, but like when you're looking at like Leo and Donnie, they should be... We want to make sure that they are tracking him because they are watching him. So it is about kind of making sure that those eye lines stay consistent. Kudos to especially Leo's pose feels, relatively natural. They both have their crossed arms, but that's working, right? Because they're both kind of standing in judgment of Mikey's abilities. But yeah, very clean drawings. Nice line work. Background in there with a grid, which makes India very happy.
Yeah, grid.
Yeah, this is very, very professional. I think like in terms of presentation, one thing to consider would be to, especially for Mikey because he's standing in front of these pins, is to put a mat of some sort on him so that he has like a nice solid opaque fill, so that we don't see the two sets of line work colliding with one another. And then maybe tightening up the background illustration a little bit. Just, like what we have there is good for perspective. We just need to kind of tighten up some of the lines, make them a little bit more final line, kind of like the characters. And that's all presentation. That doesn't really have anything to do with the motion.
I'm just gonna write watch head consistency, and then if you wanted to do any doodles on this, you can take the wheel back.
You let me know when I can just drive this off a cliff.
There you go for it.
All right.
Jesus, take the
I'm
wheel.
gonna have to go ahead and remember. Oh wait, how do I draw? Where's my tools?
The tools should be at the bottom. You should be able to draw just by.
Oh, you might have to give me some sort of
Do we have
permission or something.
Mike? Do we
We
need?
did this last time.
You might need to log in.
Okay. If you try hitting login, I can give you the details via.
Thanks.
People get to see the Donatello from last time. People get to see that. Let me put that on screen again,
okay.
just in case you guys have forgotten who you are.
Oh, you have to give me the login info, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Just to tide you guys over.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Don Knotts.
Can you type
Okay,
the
there we go.
password in, Mike? Because I don't remember what it is.
Let me think. I guessed it last time. Try.
I can only do Don Knotts' impression when I'm yelling, and I can't be yelling because it's like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, totally fair.
I was about to really go into it, and then I was like, "Stop thyself."
I think it's a different email to log in, India. It's that one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. There you go.
Okay, hold on. And this. Logging in. Hey! Alright, and then reload. Give me the tools. There's the tools. Alright.
Hey!
Okay, so they can see what I'm doing.
Yes.
Awesome. Alright, we're gonna get nice and comfy here. Can I not zoom in? Oh, there it is. Oh. Zoom level. Oh.
I think you can hold
Oh.
control and scroll as well, maybe? And that will... There's a shortcut.
Oh, it's there we go. Okay.
We have a bunch of comments on that drawing. We have Habo saying, "What the fuck?" Emlet saying, "That's realistic." Void Ink Pen saying, "Oh my god, that is horrifying." Ring Ding a Bling Bling says, "Blessed stream." Habo is scarred. And Steiny, the voice of reason. "Oh come on, it's just Don Knotts as a ninja."
Yeah, what were you guys expecting? This is where Patrick's mind goes.
Don Knotts is a ninja. Little Don Knotts in the background.
Don Notello.
Yeah.
That's too good.
What is happening? Oh no, there he is. You see?
You
The
can
se-
do it.
The secret
You
fifth
got
ninja.
it.
Aw, he believes in Mikey.
Void Ink Pen adds to this says, "No
What they
Patrick,
doing?
why?" Yeah.
You were just adding Don Knotts to every frame.
Okay, so there's a few things we can do here to kind of push this pose, right? We can either have him be concave, right? And, like
Mhm.
really bring that head down. You're kind of thinking of it like a pulley system, right? It's pulling it down. So if his spine was like a fishing rod, it would do that. So that's one route. Another potential would be to go the opposite and have him really straining against it, doing like a squat kind of pose, really pushing that But you could exaggerate the angles here of these legs, right? Make this a more intense angle. Have him kind of pulling his head out. "Oh, you know, you know. You do that. And then when he gets up, really like this pose here is the one that I would. How do I zoom out again? 100%, I guess. Okay. So right here, this is the pose that I think like once he's up here, let's start thinking in terms of S curves, right? Like when you have like anytime you're in a resting pose, you know, it's kind of a classical thing. But like, right, if you have like someone who's like resting, they might put their weight on like one hip, and then you get this kind of S curve. You know, haha.
Haha! Sassy.
So we can do the same thing here. It's got it here.
So when tackling a pose like that from the side, Pat, what kind of thing would you think about?
I think in terms of appeal, I think in terms of like right now we have these like we're obscuring a lot. So it's like when you have something from an inherently flat angle, you have to kind of go extra in terms of getting that dimensionality.
Mm-hmm. That's a good tip in itself.
Yeah, it's like you could bring a foot back. You know, you could have him step.
Oh, that's
this
real
way.
nice. Immediate appeal.
Hold it there. If he stuck his head out and he's like looking towards, like he's like looking at them now. You could do that. Get some extra rotation in there. They got these shells as well, so you kind of have to consider those almost like accessories.
Yeah, like see what you can do to make them exaggerate the pose rather than kind of cover it up.
A good rule of thumb when you're trying to figure out a character's balance is you have these there's this bone called the mandibrium, right? So you have your clavicle, right? And then you have your sternum. Your mandibrium is this little bone at the top.
It's a tie.
Yeah.
Little bone tie.
I don't know how to spell it. The bottom is your xiphoid process, but that doesn't matter. But anyways, your mandibrium. And if you find wherever that is on your character and then draw a line straight down, how do you do straight lines here?
That is something they have yet to implement.
You take a ruler to your Cintiq, Patrick.
Yeah, I have a ruler next to me that I sometimes use.
Hold on.
Do you have one
There.
too? That's
pretty
amazing.
straight. No, that was just me.
Whoa, Patrick, what?
Isn't that crazy?
He took a running start.
Wow, it's dived. Dove by his Cintiq. Patrick,
Can do
stop.
circles,
Are you kidding me? Oh my
Anyways,
gosh.
yeah. So
Perfect circle.
If you draw a line straight down, you can kind of weigh how much of the body is on one side, how much of the body is in the other, and you also like look. The head is another one because your head encompasses like 20% of your weight. So if you have a character who's running, right, or if a character's like trying to look stationary here, like if his head was too far forward and his body was too tilted and his feet were here, like he would feel off balance, right? He's gonna fall over.
Mhm.
So that's why when you're doing poses with things like the convex spine, I shoot that butt out. It's the same principle behind doing a good squat. So yeah, I look at things like this, and
Yeah, like you see how they're the center point of the character. The mandibrium,
yeah.
the bone tie, is directly above the leg that's bearing the weight.
There we go. So like here, I've just by shifting those feet forward. Not to say that hers were off balance, because they weren't.
That's
It's just about kind of exaggerating that pose, and then again, we're just keeping an eye on that,
yeah. This is just you
making sure that all the weight is accounted for, that his head's not too far back or forward. What am I?
He's just like adding appeal and pushing the posing so that it really feels like the angled floor, like they are standing within the scene.
Evelyn says, it's just better now.
Oh, here's a good example, actually. Indy, you were starting to do it here, right?
Mhm.
He's kind of making his body into a cup to hold it because it's weighted so much. But here, like, if we just left these feet like this, he would feel off balance, right? It feels like he's gonna fall over.
Yeah.
If this was a figure and we were standing it on a desk and you let go of it, it would fall backwards.
Oof, it makes you so uncomfortable to look at.
So you just gotta put one of those, you can bring that heel up. Just gotta put one of those feet back. And you can do that kind of step, right? Like, you can take a step back as he's coming down and then kind of like brace into this, kind of overshoot down a little bit and then come back up.
Mhm.
I love this one. This one's really great.
I like the leg poses there.
I like that the knees aren't symmetrical. So that means we're automatically getting... See, I think there's a lot of strong things working here. It's just about kind of like, can you push it even more? Bring one hand out, maybe.
Yeah, counterbalance.
Yeah. I got it. One foot in front of the other. Not you have this perspective, and you're using it here with Leo, which is nice. Don't be afraid to like put one foot in front of the other a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of my general notes. I'd say motion-wise, walking poses. That's another good way to like look at it, because walking is basically you're putting yourself off balance and you're catching yourself. So walking is one of those things where you intentionally want to lean forward. Right? You could be keeping eye contact on him. He's look at him. Hey, you're gonna get this, buddy. Right. Yeah. Walking is basically just putting yourself off balance and then basically stopping yourself from falling.
Yeah.
It's controlled falling, really. And then usually your arms rotate opposite, or they move opposite to your legs.
Mhm.
So he's like, hey. This is a very standard walk.
Hey! What's up,
Like
neighbor?
whistling.
I was just passing by.
Yeah, hey. If you're ever struggling in an animation, this is kind of for everybody. I don't know if this was the tactic used here, but if you're ever struggling with having a character meeting his mark, right? Marking is like if you're doing like stage plays or if you're doing live action, getting to your mark is like, a character needs to be here so the pie hits him in the face or something, or needs to be here for the staging of the scene. So they'll mark the ground with X's and it'll be like, make sure that when you're talking and you're acting, that you stop here for this moment. So if you want a character to come to a stop here, he actually is feeling a little off balance here. Let's bring that back. Start here. So actually start at your end, where they're supposed to end up at, and then animate it backwards in reverse. And that way they'll always end up there. Because if they're coming from off screen, it doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
where they're starting from, because you don't see where they start from, but you see where they end. So start there. That's a stronger place to start from, and work your way back. I love this though. This nice like turnaround. You're missing a forearm there. Uh-oh. There he goes. But yeah, just take these poses and push them.
Cool.
I like the body
I like
language.
what's going on there.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
each of the turtles feels like they have a different attitude, which is really nice. It's coming through in their posing.
Yeah. There's some really nice stuff going on here. It's really, again, it's just about kind of plussing it.
It's just Don Knotts just appearing every now and then in the background.
Oh yeah. You can do it. I believe it.
The fishing rod's a good way to think about it. I'd never thought about it like that before.
I just came up with that on the spot. I know my metaphors.
Animating's a lot like fishing.
You just gotta have a good line.
Oh my god.
Did you get it? Patrick
Yes,
got
I
it.
got it.
Patrick got it.
I
Did
got
you get
it.
it?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't know whether there was more to get than I got, but I got that line is something you use in animation and it's part of a fishing rod. Is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very good.
You also have to have a good reel to be an animator.
Oh!
Is that one better?
Yeah, that's there. There's a Doigles appearing. A wild Doigles. A Doigle head mounted on the lair wall.
I just got punished with push-ups by 2 people.
Go get them push-ups, Michael. Look at that sassy Doig pose. Mhm. How could you, Patrick? You made him toot.
Well, he can't see because he's doing push-ups right now.
Exactly, he can't. He doesn't even know.
So yeah, that's my contribution. Don Nuts and a farting Doig.
Amazing, like really good stuff though there. With
Yeah,
pushing
thank you so much for
poses.
showing us, Evelyn.
Yeah, Evelyn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next one then. We have Steiny in chat, the animated moon.
Oh, lovely.
I
I know it's Steiny.
know Steiny. How you doing, mate?
Is that what Steiny sounds like?
No, not even a little
Oh.
bit. Steiny's US. Whereabouts are you in the US, Steiny?
Or
Let me give this a play.
Oregon is not in the U.S.
What?
Not anymore.
Really?
No,
Wow.
they're Canada now.
Geography.
This is good.
Yeah, I really like the way that the environment reacts to to the weight as well. That's really fun.
I like it bouncing off the floor.
I like the body language
He's
as well.
getting ready for
With
it.
him slapping his cheeks.
That's really nice. Like extra detail to the motion. I think a lot of people would just kind of have him lift it over his head, but Stani put the extra effort into having him kind of lift it, gather his strength again, and then, it's a clean and jerk, right? So he's doing like lifting it to his chin and then pushing it to the very top.
Yeah. Having that little break in the middle. I really like the way that you're distorting the weights as well. The way that you've drawn them make them look really heavy. The way that the bar is bending in the middle. And you have these little overshoots on the weights.
Very Dr. Tran mouth right there.
Ah!
You guys know Dr. Tran, right?
I don't. Should I Google this?
No. Just
Wait,
wait on that one.
why not? What? Why? What's wrong with it? What?
Nothing's wrong with it. It's an experience.
I don't even know if I'm... Oh! It looks kind of South Parkish. Oh, I see! Wow, there's a figure of them just screaming. That's intense. I'm gonna show you guys just so that you're on the same page as me. Here we are.
wow.
Yep.
Looks like a toy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool, right?
That's his face, all right. I'm not a doctor.
Ah! But yeah, the way that you have the environment reacting to him too is super nice. I like that we've got almost like a what? Here in the lip sync.
Yeah, it's like a little uh-oh.
Yeah, the thing that I would say is when we pan down, I was confused at first as to where the character had gone. And I can see that he's on the right hand
Oh yeah,
side
he didn't
here.
missed his mark.
But because we're continuing straight down from where he fell, it feels like it should be more center screen. Like here-ish. So at
It's
first,
almost like a boarding scenario.
yeah, it's more like a storytelling thing than anything else. Not really an animation note. But just in terms of the continuity of the shots, I did at first think that that was a different character in the corner there, and wasn't sure where the main character had gone, just because the positions didn't quite match up between the two shots.
Yeah, basically it's like it's a setup and payoff, and we're not fully getting the payoff because you've set up that the character is positioned here and is moving straight down. So the audience is anticipating him to go where you've directed them to look.
Mm-hmm. You basically just want to keep the eye trace in the same place so that everyone's eyes are already kind of where they need to be to see the payoff. And also, this is again not really... Well, it is an animation note, but it's not so much on the weight, but just the way that we fall through the center here. I really like the way that you have the ground distort and crack inwards with the weight. The hole itself, when he falls through, feels a little bit small. Feels like we should have more of the outside edge of this kind of crinkling in, given the way that you've drawn it on previous frames. Have more of those boards sticking up or something.
Yeah, so you could maybe have like some of the boards flip up or bits of debris, like tiny little splinters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's more like adding effects, that doesn't really address. I just think it'd be cool to have it.
Yeah, it's true. Like, since he's falling through the center, the floor is going to break even more than it previously has, right? So you're going to want to show an increased amount of destruction in this little last portion. So just be aware of that and maybe stick some more boards up or something. I like the thought of having like little splinters and stuff fly up, that's fun. But yeah, in terms of the weight itself, it feels really nice and heavy. I really like this. I like the way you're having him step, so you're tracking the feet properly. I think we could add like maybe a stagger here as he's getting his strength together to show that he's still kind of struggling to keep the weight where it currently is.
Could you
That's good
explain?
timing.
Could you
Yeah.
explain what a stagger is to those who might not know?
Oh yeah, sure. It's basically just like an animated vibration almost to show strain. Like when people are pushing against an immovable force, our muscles and the fact that they're tensing up means that we tend to I wouldn't know how to describe it. There's
So we're talking about stuttering,
Yeah.
like the shaking of the legs.
yeah, like demonstrating strain in animation through using staggers.
So basically, the technique is as you are cushioning, right? You're slowing into something, right? So he's going down. We're slowing into that stopping position before he pushes it back up. As we do that, we take every other frame of that very closely spaced animation. So the closer it gets, the less the shaking will be, and we alternate it. So instead of it going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it'll go 1, 3, 2, 4. And so what that ends up doing is that stutters it. So it brings the drawing goes down and then up and then down and up, and you get this kind of little vibration out of it. And you see it done in a lot of like old school like Disney, Looney Tunes type of animation. Whenever someone's straining really hard on something, and it just kind of it gives you that sense that it's about to break. adjectives say humans vibrate.
So essentially like this.
Yeah. That's how you count on the moon.
And so on and so forth. And that will create a vibration for you. I'm not sure the mechanics as to why a vibration conveys strain so well.
Two opposite force is pushing. Like
Yeah.
one's ground, one's not.
It happens in real life.
Mhm.
You know, if you see someone really straining on something, they will start to vibrate. It's usually a sign that like something's very near its breaking point. So it's the instability that you're witnessing.
Mhm.
Kind of, you know, it exaggerates and exemplifies that strain.
Yeah, like they can't just keep it in one place easily, showing that like tug
Yeah.
of war between the two forces is kind of what it's demonstrating.
Yeah.
That Ghost in the Shell scene where the Major is trying to pull the lid off a tank,
Hmm.
and she can't do it, but she's like a robot, so her body is basically, she's ripping her own body apart trying to get this hatch open. And I think that's a wonderful example of this mechanic shown.
Yeah.
Though it's for adults only because it's got the cyber boobies.
It does have the cyber boobies. It's very good
does.
though.
She wears like a weird like skin tight suit that's also skin colored, but off color of her own skin. And so you're like, is she nude or not? Or is that what robots look like when they're naked? I was very confused as a kid when I saw that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just her skin.
I think
No, it's like a stealth suit.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very form fitting though.
One thing that I think we could potentially push is at the beginning here, all the poses are very symmetrical. I think you could adjust that slightly to make them less so.
A little bit of asymmetry
Yeah,
for some visual interest.
yeah, just little things like having one hand grab before the other hand does.
Yeah. And like obviously like once you've grabbed the barbell, it's going to be twinned. Like you can do subtle things. You know, like when he brings it up, you can add in some nice overlap by tilting the barbell.
Mhm.
Once you're ready, India, I might actually demonstrate that a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add one more thing to this cheek slap, which is just it would be nice to like have his face actually react to that. So if you want to give it like a very subtle squash, that could be kind of fun, quite cartoony, and like push those cheeks in.
Add a squeaky toy sound.
Yeah, the perfect impression.
I would be disturbed if my squeaky toy made that sound. I would take it away from my dog immediately.
Wow.
That's the sound an alien that can take any form makes if it's impersonating a squeak toy and it's like caught in a bad situation and it's like, oh no, the dog found me. I have to do this impersonation so they don't find me out.
Sounds like some kind of alarm which batteries have run dry.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, go for it, Pat. That's actually pretty cute. Oh. Beautiful.
But yeah, India, you're right on the money with especially here in the beginning about even though it is a symmetrical motion, adding no person is completely symmetrical. As a matter of fact, using something that is perfectly symmetrical is a good way to kind of make them feel robotic and make them feel artificial. So to get that kind of organicness to it, like you don't have to stagger it like 1-2-1-2 with the face, you can just, when he does it, just have like one a little bit closer, and little things like just adjusting the pose, before he gets into it. Just like pulling this elbow out, putting that one in. It can be really subtle stuff. It doesn't have to be exaggerated, but just a little bit of subtlety can help that. And then in terms of this, again, like, let's say he's like right hand dominant or something, right? Like, so when he lifts it up, you have this nice leg here. That's a good bit of asymmetry, but like if it comes up and this one drags a little bit, and then by the time here, it's just very slightly up here. So that means that it's kind of doing this overlap kind of motion.
Yeah, like one end is dragging after the other almost.
And then it'll just add like a nice extra sense of organicness. I think the big thing for me is just really pushing some of the drawings themselves. I think the motion, the timing, the spacing's feeling really strong. Got good comedic timing. We're reading the expressions. The drawings are clear. Like, that's all working. It's really about taking a lot of this stuff here and, like, if he's straining here, like, let's show some of that palm, right? Because he's going to be pushing against it. But, like, just plussing some of these drawings, really, and getting some of that volume. The biggest thing here is that he's kind of missing volume, and I'm seeing a little bit of struggling with the perspective. I might have to just draw it over here.
Get them pectorals.
Yeah, I have to do it.
I like how it almost feels like in yours that there's one leg forward and one leg back. Almost like it's a step.
Oh, that was actually, I think, by accident.
I've seen.
If he is doing it properly, he should have his feet. Like, kind of the nature of the action is symmetrical, so that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, maybe bringing that head down here too. Because you're drawing this shape, but from the front.
Yeah, the compressed
That's his
beam.
torso. This isn't a super good drawing, but I think it conveys what I'm talking about. But just things like because I know that like you kind of push your palms in there, so making sure that you can see that thumb, drawing that hand, showing that palm there, making sure that wrist feels like it's stabilizing and holding that weight. Draw them fingers in, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Take a little time to kind of flesh out the actual volume. Could even like go really crazy with the expressions. What if he like struggled here like a bunch and he's just like
His eyeballs.
Or something, You go like super TMNT with that,
His eyeballs popping out all over the place.
It's like,
I love how terrifying it is.
Got his little tongue there.
Beautiful. But yeah, so much of animation is exaggeration. Steiny's always been super good at the very subtle parts of animation.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of Steiny's strengths as an animator. Pairing that with some like really good exaggeration, I think, is the ticket.
Yeah, I think really it is. It's just about kind of pushing some of these drawings. I think these are a nice shorthand, but like, let's just put some time into like thinking about like how that shirt wraps around the form and like where is it? Does he have clavicles in there? Like, how do they work? Because like even like amorphous blobs and like more like cartoon modern like super abstract or flat characters, this thought is being put into them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even a character who's like shrugging, who's like, you know, you could have a character who's like, you know, like one of these type of designs
Oh yeah.
from like the 1950s, right? He's got like his little tie, right? Like even if he like ends up shrugging, they're gonna from an abstract standpoint, you have to show that shoulder and imply that clavicle, because that's a body language thing. And so even if you're communicating it in as little lines as possible, you do need to consider for that.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, this stuff, you have to be so efficient with it that what lines you do draw need to be convey the most information, because you don't have any more lines to do it with.
Yeah.
So importance is placed on each line. So, you know, him doing this, you could stretch it out like that. You could, you know, bring those feet out, bring that chest out, you know, like just using silhouette to imply a chest. Like that, you know?
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
the rug from Aladdin.
That's a good example, yeah. I love this face.
It's great. Yeah, like a lot of those old designs, the very simple, stylistic designs that you see, like from Cartoon Network and such, or from the old, was it UPA? That old style?
Yeah, I believe so.
It's a simplification of a more complex design, so the artists know what they're drawing and are simplifying it. It's not a case of the designs being simple because the artists don't know how to draw more complex stuff. It's a case of the artists knowing the complex anatomy but simplifying it down and using it in the most efficient way possible.
Kind of streamlined
Yeah.
rather than simplified. It's like, yeah.
And it's like, give him some pit stains.
Ah!
But it's just like, you know, like even things like the earphones here, like taking some time to make sure that like this one's the same size as this one, because we're seeing it from straight on, that's consistent, and just a little extra time and effort to kind of tighten up some of the draftsmanship. Because right now it is very shorthand and it is working, and so I think like the next step, and then you're gonna really start having some super awesome like professional.
Yeah, getting some nuance into the designs.
Devil horns for that one.
I was gonna say, he's like, yeah, rock on! I did it!
I had a massive hernia, but it was worth it.
Adam Lovely says this is getting progressively more moist and I don't like it.
It's just like,
Look, if you want to be a good artist, you need to get moist, okay?
Because you're going fishing, right?
I don't want that quote to be what I'm known for. Standing in a little pool of his own sweat.
sprinkler systems are on, baby.
All right, I think we're going over time. We should move on to the next one.
Aww,
Okay.
you timing us.
I'm just
And yeah, the
Saving
pants
us.
are just a subtle little. Hold on, just talk a little bit about the pants.
Because they're being pulled up,
Real
right?
quick. They are, and so this is an example of using very few lines where it's like this line here, because it's tangenting with this line, feels that like the pants is pulled taut against this side, and then by not having the pants leg be like this but actually tilting it up, that implies that it's getting stretched, you know?
It's very milk call.
Yeah, it's like it's very classic Disney, but like this kind of stuff is what you can imply perspective, you can imply volume, you can imply anatomy. You can do all this stuff with very few lines, and that's kind of the whole idea behind the cartoon modern movement. It's minimalism in motion. How can I convey the most information with the least amount of application?
Mhm.
Which means that your application is super sophisticated. And I think, like, you know, you can do that with these simple characters. It just takes a lot of study and time and effort,
Yeah, he's,
and like going back over stuff and, like, you know, tightening up.
it's all in the
the
name of
stuff you-
clarity. Like sometimes
Yeah.
the most lines aren't necessarily the easiest to read.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, this thing could be like, it could be a disc like this. It could be, you know, you could make that could be what it looks like, and you could exaggerate to make this shape where it's like, oh, it's kind of polygonal, and like now, oh, I'm gonna exaggerate this, so now it really feels like it's coming at me because I've moved these lines away, so we're getting tapering, we're getting perspective, we're doing all this crazy stuff. You know, yeah, have fun with it. Graphic animation can be just as sophisticated and advanced as representational animation.
Mm-hmm. You can get away with much more, that's for sure.
Yes.
If you keep it very tied to realism, then there's a lot that comes with that in terms of you having to deliver on very realistic movement.
I would say that, like, in abstract animation, though, especially in like the realm of like Rudy Toot Toot, there's other things that you can't get away with.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like your lines can't boil unintentionally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to feel intentional, whatever the decision is.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, awesome work, Steiny. Like the timing and everything of this already is feeling really good. The weight's being conveyed really well. A couple of small things you could do to really amp it up and push it. What is this? I'm so scared.
Oh, it's just keep talking. What were you saying?
For a second I thought it was a giant finger coming in. Oh no! Oh no!
What were you saying?
You know, I've lost my train of thought. I don't know why. This is beautiful. Hi guys! And I'm here
This is
too.
Workmate. Oh, his workmate is special though because he has a nose.
Oh wow.
He has eyebrows and he's like, yeah.
He's so realistic.
Okay, what were you saying, India?
I think I'd finished. I think I was just complimenting Steiny on the timing and the way it's conveyed in this through the drawings is really nice. And that there's just a few little things you could do to push this to the next level.
Void says, I don't know if I'm happy or disappointed that Pat never touched my boards now.
Oh.
Hey, we'll do another board challenge. And then maybe Pat will be around for it. If he happens to be up, we can catch him.
Alright, do you think we should move on to the next submission?
Okay.
This is getting into dangerous demonic territory.
I'm curious as to what's happening with...
Wait, hold on. He's just like...
The point.
Oh, it's a work of art.
I mean, to me...
Oh, wait, it's not showing up on the stream.
Yeah, to me, it looks like you've drawn the tie and the arm, but not anything else.
You guys not...
Yeah,
is it not loading for you guys?
We didn't get the face.
Hold on. Let me...
The face is the best part.
Let me flip back and forth and see if it helps. See if this... There you are.
Ah.
There you go. Sync just needed a second to catch up. That collar is out of control. The collar's like bigger than its entire body. That tie is hanging off thin air.
This is Fathead Mick Pointer face.
Wow, like his parents really knew how he would turn out when they named him.
Yeah, I mean, like...
His parents were like,
Predestined.
this is your destiny. And he embraced it fully. Josie says, should we move on? Patrick, the embodiment of chaos, 1 sec. I mean, it's chaotic knowledge, right? You guys are getting the benefit of the knowledge.
I'll learn you some chaos.
Yeah, you have to watch intently though. You have to see every mark made.
He knows everything there is to know about animation, but also he's loco. Okay.
I also know everything you shouldn't do.
That's so much of it though, isn't it? It's like just learning the stuff to avoid.
But then you get old enough and you're like, yeah, but now I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, now I'm doing it deliberately.
Oh, man, the soundtrack, the music, the playing is this like quite fantasy-esque do 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 kind of thing.
It's true though, like a lot of learning how to animate and such is learning what you shouldn't do. And then learning that actually sometimes it is good to do that. You just have to do it really intentionally and deliberately.
I doed it. I get a whoopings. I doed it.
I did it. I done did it. So this is at Pencil Pushers, at Pencil Puncher. I always want to say pusher, but then it's not.
They said, I had a lot of fun with this one. I tried to be more conservative with my frame usage and generally try to see how economic I could be to still get a good result. Maybe drop the ball a little towards the end, but I think I got a lot out of it.
I'm loving all these grids, y'all. Everyone's put grids on. I'm so proud.
You're reaching. You're reaching the youth.
I'm pressuring everyone into it.
I did say in the submission form, please supply a grid, a ground plane.
Nice.
So, and I did threaten last week that you would just not review anything that didn't have one.
That's not true though. I will always review.
Damn it, you're softening my message.
Oh wow, that's so mean. What an asshole monster.
Hey, what's this? Oh, it's a lovely little shit.
I'll just drop it directly on top of you.
Yeah, here, hold this. That poor guy.
I know. Jeez, oh. That feeling of impact at the end is really good. I think it's the camera shake is really helping that there. Nice spacing as well, just having that one smear frame. I really like the way that the character is distorting underneath, almost like a balloon that's being pushed out to the side. Oh wow, we even get some flashes in there as well. That's super nice. I think this monster is a great example too of what Patrick was saying about making sure that the weight feels very stable. I might adjust that monster's posing there at the end just to make it feel a little bit less like it would teeter over towards where the cinder block is.
I think yeah, I would say it's more in the arm placement because he is kind of gorilla-esque and resting on his knuckles. So if that's where he's placing his weight, then yeah, it is feeling off balance. We should probably move that hand.
Yeah, just have it slightly more forward. Especially since the monster's apparently holding this quite heavy thing out at the end of his arm as well. Yeah, at the minute it feels like they would pivot. Let me just... Might as well do it now, since we're talking about it. I'm tempted to push that more here.
Then it's obscuring the back leg foot placement as well.
Yeah,
less obscuring it.
Yeah, then you're getting more of the rest of the body. But also the center of weight
I will be right back.
is it's being held up. Where's he going? He's so mysterious. But that would feel more stable to me. But yeah, let's have a look at this box lift here.
I like that it takes a lot of strain, and that even still the box doesn't fly off the ground. It still is very slow.
Yeah. That's really nice. What is it that you always say, Patrick? It's slow ups and fast downs for heavy objects.
And you can actually demonstrate it by doing the opposite. In that, think of a balloon, and a balloon is slow downs, fast ups.
Yeah.
And so like imagine a balloon coming down, and then you tap it, and it goes doink, and it like flies up like real quick, and then it slowly comes down, and doink, goes up real quick. Take that, reverse it. That's how a bowling ball falls, which is like, but it's harder to imagine a bowling ball because when a bowling ball hits the period of time between each impact is so much shorter, so it's harder to visualize. So you just think of it as like and it's over, but the spacing is actually slow up, fast down on a bowling ball, and then reversed as a balloon. It's just easier to visualize the balloon and then say do the opposite for heavy things.
Yeah. That's a very good formula.
Yay!
Yeah. I think one of the things I'm seeing here is I really like how you have this like tilted center line here. Like it definitely conveys that this box is heavy, but the actual position you currently have the box in, with most of the bulk of the box being on this side and unsupported by anything, makes it feel like the box is essentially going to fall over this way. I think when people pick up heavy objects like this, they generally like cradle it in towards themselves, in towards their core, to make sure that it stays stable. So in this case, something more like this.
Probably talk a little bit about like harmony in a pose and a silhouette, about like how lines flow into each other or are perpendicular to one another.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're kind of either flowing or you're framing.
Can you break that down a bit more? I've never heard that before.
Yeah. Mind if I doodle?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry, I will draw this box. Okay, go for it.
You fool!
No! He's taken control!
Horrible thing.
He just wanted to put a potato.
I just wanted to put, it's me, hello. It's me, it's Pat Tato.
Hey, Pat.
My name is Pat and I'm a potato. And I'm riding on the box.
Right, okay, so flow and frame. So when you're doing like a harmonious pose or something like that, so let's say like we have this wonderful box here, and the weight and the weight is kind of like going to dictate the pose, but we can still frame around this device because this is the focus, right? So establish your focus. Focus, flow, and frame. Wow, I'm actually developing a lesson plan right now as we speak.
I like it.
So here's our focus. So any lines, I'll do them in blue. So framing lines are going to frame it, right? Big old circular frame. So you have lines that are going to frame, and then you have lines, which we'll do in purple, flowing lines, which go towards it. So I'll go to the next. Oh, I hit a button. There we go. I'll go to the next one so we can demonstrate that. So these arms are framing it. So the arms are going to move around the focal point. But then we're going to want to rotate this wrist to hold it. And so now the knuckles are framing. And then basically you just think in those terms. So the spine will frame, the legs are going to flow. And even like down here, like where the feet connect with the ground, like that will also flow. It kind of slightly angles towards it. The head here, we could have it frame, facing away, or if I can erase properly, have it flow with it. So it's just like that kind of stuff. Like, oh, stream loaded there for a sec. Things are either moving kind of parallel and flowing into the object, or they're framing it moving perpendicular. And that's how you start getting dynamic poses. You have a character who's running away from the screen, and it's like you have lines that are flowing in this pose. It's a lot about like getting like that wonderful feeling of life in your drawing. but it's like this back leg here that I'm gonna be drawing. This one that's in the air, like flow, frame, flow, frame. They're all at 90-degree angles to one another, but they're also all at diagonals. You get this wonderful sense of dynamism, and you get the sense of motion. You might need to step forward and back a little bit because you can't actually see my drawings on the stream.
I'm just going to give it a refresh and see if that... There we go.
Yeah. So hopefully they can see this. Let me draw a little red line there, see if it shows up. There it goes, yeah. So what I was saying, guys, is like, you know, you have flowing and framing lines. So you have ones that flow along the body, the contours of the body, things that are moving with it, right? And these things can go to a point, right? So if you're tapering, your character's running away from something, right? These lines will taper. So that means that, like, even if you have like this little bottom foot here, I kind of taper it towards the object. And so they all service to then bring your focus to this, which is the box, and then you frame it by doing lines that are perpendicular that kind of clasp around or cup the object. So yeah, that's the difference between flow and frame.
So it's kind of like ripples outwards from the object versus lines leading into the object directly.
Yes. And so what that means is that when you're working with this kind of these two lines, like when you kind of reduce it to these, what ends up happening is that means most of the lines in your drawing are going to be opposed to one another. They're going to be hitting each other at perpendicular angles, which means then it gives you better opportunity for more exaggerated overlap because you don't run into tangents as much that way. And all the lines then service around a focal point. And then if you have that focal point, or you have multiple focal points, and you can use that flowing and framing, you can start to direct an audience's eye to where you want them to look at your drawing in just a single drawing.
Mm-hmm.
In this character, their clothing, would they like the lines on their like their cuffs, or like if they were wearing shorts and stuff, those would become flowing lines towards the box, wouldn't they?
That's actually a good point. Is that, like, you know, if, you know, like for instance, like a non-flowing line might be something like this, which would feel kind of awkward. But a flowing line, right, flow directly towards it. They're all going here. Yeah.
Cool.
And not everything has to service that, right? Like you have other elements, and you have a hierarchy to keep in mind, especially when you're doing like stronger, more dynamic poses. You kind of have to adhere to a strict hierarchy because there's so many elements, you know, clothing and accessories and anatomy, all that kind of stuff. So really this affects the primary shape, and then the secondary shapes can service that to a lesser degree, but will also be more adhering to the anatomy and underlying volumes that they're following of the primary elements. Am I making sense, or am I just rambling at this point?
No, you're making complete sense.
Yeah, I'm following you. Everyone following at home?
This is great. This is stuff that I haven't learned or heard before, so it's super cool to hear it broken down.
You can probably see it in a lot of my art now. if you look back at some of my more complex designs.
I want to go back and look at them and be like, I see.
Yeah.
Like, it's
So
a
I
really
think
cool way to
Triangle
think
Wolf
about.
has a lot of that.
A really cool way to think about designing poses.
Mm.
So in Triangle Wolf's case, you used it in terms of actually the design of the character themselves.
Yeah, because he has like this kind of open cuff, and everything's like framing and moving around this triangle shape. But then I also deliberately broke some of that rule in the ears.
Mm-hmm.
Because those were a design element that I wanted, but they kind of also service because they follow that triangle.
Yeah.
There's motifs that run through all these designs. You know, but then, yeah, like, again, things are framing. Collar frames his chest, and then the jacket pulls away framing a very thin torso.
Voiding Pen says, Pat, you're stunning me with that explanation because it's so much easier to understand compared to my figure drawing classes.
I'm very happy it was helpful. Yeah, so that's what I have to say about framing and flowing designs, and like you have a character like this, and I think we talked about obviously the other elements, right? The weight, like trying to show that. But yeah, if you want to talk a little bit about the actual motion.
Yeah, well, thank you for that, Pat. Like, super cool and interesting. I will be probably screen grabbing those doodles that you did for me to study later.
Hey, you gotta follow.
Hey,
Hey, thank you.
Alison Wonderbread, thank you. Wonderbread. I mean, what I was saying seems super basic
You know
now.
that there's a.
No.
It is not true.
Dunder, you guys, you gotta draw good. Okay.
You know plenty about drawing. Good.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. I think I was just basically saying that the center point of this box, in terms of the weight, feels a bit off. It feels like if this box is heavy, they're going to want to cradle it in toward their chest, essentially. Because otherwise it would tip over the edge of their hand being kind of like a pivot for it. So if you want to convey the weight of this box, as Pat was saying, scoop the body around it a bit and have that like be brought into their chest a bit.
In addition to that, the lines of the box will follow the eye line of the character looking at the big monster in front of him.
India, you have a really awesome opportunity here
Yeah?
to like
Squish. Yeah.
squish and put that face on the box. And then also Hardik, as far as resources, I don't know of any that talk about what I was talking about. The closest might be the Drawn to Life books by Walt Stanchfield.
Pat, would you consider like putting together a PDF or something? I know that once upon a time, back when you used to stream on your weekends and you had free time, you talked a little bit about you and Spencer Wan thinking of putting together something. Have you thought of maybe doing something yourself now that Spencer's kind of moved on to other pastures?
I don't know. It's I want to. I have a lot of written documentation from the Patreon.
Yeah.
You know, when I used to run that, that's where a lot of this comes from, is that it was like overanalyzation and actually like spending hours writing a post and like reviewing it. And my mom's an English major, so she would review it too and like help me out with like wording and
Aw.
just putting a lot of effort into being super specific and detailed with my explanations and trying to be as concise and clear as possible.
Because you've seen like things like Grizz and Norm's Tuesday Tips, right?
I have no idea what that is.
It's a book of art drawing tips, and each page is
Really?
basically a different tip, and they're all very concise and very good. I think Grizz and Norm were at Disney. Let me just get it up for you so you can see.
I'm already looking it up right now. Oh, I have seen these. These
Yeah.
are great.
Something like that, just because all of this stuff that you're talking about is both super helpful, but also something that I haven't heard other people talk about. And I think people would like really love to have access to that knowledge in a way where they could kind of have it with them as they're working and, you know, be able to keep picking back to
Well,
it.
you know what? If they keep showing up to your streams, I might just hang out. You guys give Michael and India some bits right now. Maybe I'll show up again.
That's wow, businessman Pat's come out. Seriously though, I'd love that. Like if that was, I would definitely give money for that if you were to put that either on a Patreon or on a Gumroad or something. You know, even if it was just you getting together a bunch of your Patreon posts and kind of putting them into one document.
Yeah. Maybe if we get some extra cash laying around or something like that, I can. For me, like the thing that like, the part that you excel at that I don't excel at, is the drawing of these explanations.
Are you kidding me?
Uh,
What?
Well, like, like if I was to put it into a book, like I compare like some of these doodles that I'm doing to like the draw overs that you were doing of Strive in Starlight Brigade, and these fantastic demonstrations that were not only demonstrating what you needed them to do, but were also beautiful to look at. And so if I did do something like that, I'd probably want to have some extra money so that I could hire an illustrator like yourself to help me illustrate it, so I could just focus on the writing aspect of it.
I mean, I think
And then like kind of like
I think you're
do my little chicken scratch.
I think your drawings are super clear, Pat. But I mean, I would definitely go for just like a Pat book. But if it was something you wanted to think about, we could even like potentially make it a Knights of the Light Table thing, where we
Oh, that'd be cool.
yeah, we could ask for contributions from Elle. I could do a couple of pages. You could do a couple of pages.
Like a grimoire or something.
Yeah,
Or a treatise.
the art grimoire. I like that too much.
Yeah, because it's like a book of spells, right? Like Merlin's book of spells, but it's nice light tables.
Yeah, and that'd be awesome, because then if anyone has any particular subject they wanted to do a page on, they could do that, and it would be fast to put together, and it'd be cool to have lots of different people's perspectives.
Yeah, I think that'd be very interesting.
If you made it digital, you could keep contributing pages to it. Like a magical book that keeps growing.
Voiding Pen says, "Ah, grimoire! Yes!"
We'd have to get Michael to figure out a better name for it.
That's true, Mike is the naming wizard, as well as being the colour wizard. He wears many wizardy hats.
I named Strive.
Yep, you did. What else did you name?
Oh, I don't know.
You named something recently that was super good. I've forgotten what it was.
That's my claim to fame.
But yeah, sorry. Essentially, I cradle this box in towards the character, so that they're supporting it with their whole weight being kind of scooped underneath it. And that's one of the things I noticed here is when they pick it up, they're kind of picking it up away from themselves. And if you pick up any heavy object and like move it around, it's very, very hard to do to keep it kind of away from your body. The instinct is to cup that weight against yourself. And in that vein, when they lift it too, I'm noticing that everything is lifting at the same rate in terms of the different corners of the box. Whereas if you're lifting from the hands at this end here,
We're not here to fight. We need your help.
probably the box is going to remain on the floor at the other end.
Us, kidnap us, or threaten to destroy everything
raided.
we love. Maybe we
Whoa.
are here for a fight. God.
Hello! Welcome to our small
Hello.
Twitch stream.
Thank you so much for the raid.
You've currently stumbled.
Small anymore.
You've currently stumbled into an animation feedback review stream.
Yeah,
We currently have India Swift
not me.
to my left and Patrick Stannard to my infinite.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid, Derpy. Let me attempt that again. Derpix on Twitch. Derpion? I don't know. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing people over. Thanks for all the follows.
Wow. And we are the Knights of the Light Table.
Yeah. Yeah, collectively we are. This is Pat, who's director of Knights of the Light Table. Mike and I also do stuff there.
India's a director / animator / boarder at nights.
Yeah, I'm not the director, but I'm
A director. Yeah.
direct some projects there. Whereas Pat directs the entire
My
company.
official title would be CEO.
CEO.
I know. I'm the chief executive officer at a company that employs me.
Oh wow, thank you so much for the gifted subs.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Whoa. Thank you so much. Send a thank you.
Yeah, thank you very, very, very much.
You got a parkour emote there. That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Oh, can I do parkour now?
Is that what it
can.
means? Oh, just everyone's jumping off the walls.
So yeah, Knights of the Light Table for the last three or so years have been creating animated music videos, some of which are called Starlight Brigade and Night Runners Magnum Bullets and Blowing the Payload for Starbomb and Heartboner.
Heartboner?
And more recently,
The Spirit.
yeah, more recently the trailer for Thunder Lotus's Spirit Fair. So yeah, welcome.
And we're currently working on the Mystic Crystal.
That's true.
Can't say
NSBs.
anything about that. Shh.
No. I can't. Spoilers, it's cool.
India.
I know! I'm sorry! I couldn't keep it in.
Too much information, India.
Now they know it's gonna be cool. I can't live up to that.
I know, I've
It's too
ruined,
much pressure.
I've ruined everything now.
We really should talk about this animation.
I'm doing little notes. Small notes.
I like your note about like kind of pulling it in.
Yeah.
I think that I like the fact that we show this character moving and rotating and around a pivot point. It feels natural.
Yeah. It's very cool.
Hey, thank you for this sub or follow. Sorry,
Thank you for the follow.
those are two different things. I don't know Twitch well.
What is Twitch?
I'm gonna give you a shout out. Thanks for rating. What were you up to?
What's that?
Asking Derpixon. Please tell me if I'm pronouncing that right. What they were up to before they raided us.
Just making a little note
How
here.
could you say that? There's Derpixon. You could like a kind of sound. So that'd be Derpihan.
Dalpihan.
Derpihan.
That sounds incredibly badass. That's like some kind of fantasy character name.
Oh,
It is
cool.
I,
You
Dalpihan.
say Derpy is fine.
Working on a short running loop. It's awesome.
Ooh.
Do I follow you?
You may call me
I do.
Derpy.
Okay, cool.
It is I, Darpy.
The TMNT series that the short bits are from is Rise of the TMNT.
Rise!
Oh, it's such a good show.
It's so good, guys. It's so good. Anyone who hasn't seen it, please check it out. It's so good. It's like my favorite series in the past however many years.
You
Doing
can
there with the perspective.
I'm just making a little note to not flatten the feet out so much when we get to this pose. Because right now the bottoms of the feet are running like flush along the perspective line, which would mean that the feet are kind of out at 90-degree angles to one another. Whereas to keep that perspective convincing, you probably want to tilt them in a little bit and not have them so flat on the line. I've also just rotated the box a little bit so it's not just completely flat to camera.
Well, look at that.
Well, would you look at that? Then we have them coming around here. We have the notes we made earlier. This reveal is really nice. I like the cam zoom out and the reframe. That works super well.
An eye?
Sorry?
Is he missing an eyeball?
I think he's only got one, but the perspective is a little bit confusing on the face because of the way the horns are placed, I think. Like,
Gotcha.
it feels like the center line of the character's face should be a little bit further over to really make clear that there's only one eye happening here.
Gideola says, "Holy Nugget Jesus, the intro to
Also-
that series is amazing."
Oh yeah, it is.
Also, this is definitely a thing that I'll let India finish. Oh, those are horns.
Yeah, I think so.
There you go. Add that back to the cranium. That's a thing that I have to remind a lot of people is when you're doing a character, wherever you place the ears, like there's still head behind the ear.
Yeah, and
A
you
lot of people will flatten that out.
because you need that neck joint to go into the back of the skull.
brush up on that anatomy.
Yeah, get that
I like
chest
the little
out.
legs though.
Me too. He's a Minotaur Cyclops
Yeah.
hybrid. Nice.
If you were kind of leaning on your knuckles, your deltoids would kind of come forward like this, and your scapula, that's your shoulder blade, would be there. You probably want to... Like here now, if we do that same thing from the mandibrium down,
Mhm.
you can see now we're bracing that. We're supporting that weight now. You could do, have some fun things where you like really squish those knuckles down, bring that wrist out. Your latissimus.
I'm just giving it a bit of a refresh because I think it's dropping some of your drawings.
Oh no!
I wanna
My
make-
doodles!
I want to make sure it's getting them because these are great notes. There we go.
Also, I want to meet this nugget Jesus.
Nugget Jesus!
He was dipped for your sins.
Chimkin.
Sorry. Oh! I just saw a... Did we get a follow or something?
There was a very, very brief notification that flashed up and then
Was it-
immediately went away.
Was it from Starlight Brigade? Because I have
Yeah.
no idea what that is.
It's the ghost. The
ghost
ghost
of-
notification
yeah.
keeps coming up. Haunted stream. Are you still doodling?
No. You go right
Okay,
ahead.
good.
I just wanted to toss in some anatomy. I hadn't done it in 2 seconds, and so I was feeling the itch.
I was just checking because I didn't know if I was just not picking up what you were doing on the screen. Yeah, look at that clarified
That's what happens,
anatomy.
man.
Like, I do like the stylized arms just being like one shape, but look how
Mhm.
much more detail and information you get from like just defining where the forearm is, defining like where the shoulders meet the bicep. And then
Oh, thank you, E-Frame.
Yeah, thank you. Ephraim saying, "Wow, guys, I came here thanks to the raid. I was seeing that you worked on the Starlight Brigade animations. Wow, I love that song. Destiny is very
Aw.
strange sometimes."
oh, that's
Hello.
awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. See,
I love this reaching up and snagging of the box.
yeah, and the repositioning of the screen, the most screenmost arm there from Pat is going to really help when your character leans over to maintain that balance there. So mean. They just drop it. Yeah, I really like that drop at the end. That feels super impactful. Yeah. I think that's all the notes I have on this. It's mainly the positioning of the box once it's been lifted up and the lift itself. Feeling like you're lifting from the point of force, which would be the arm dragging the side of the box up here.
Yes. Kind of having that rotation kind of reaction from being lifted because it's being lifted from the fulcrum is where the hands are.
Yeah. I guess also just watch the foot placement here. Because of where you have the box in space. It feels like one of the feet is kind of aligned with a side of the box and the other foot is very far out. Whereas I suspect you probably want it to feel more central in terms of the feet placement around the box. In which case it would be a little bit more like this. And you would probably see some of that back arm as well. If we're able to see the back leg, we're probably going to be able to see some of this arm coming in as well. Either just here or around the back. Just make sure your character doesn't get too flat. essentially what Pat was saying on Evelyn's animation about like really pushing that perspective since you have like quite a flat side-on pose.
I like this flipping technique you're using. Where is that?
Flipping technique. Oh, you mean just
Oh, I think I found it.
going back and forth between frames?
Yes, the mirroring. There it is.
Whoa, wait, how did you do that? Oh my gosh, there's a button for that.
Hey, India. All right, not challenge mode activated. Trying to do some notes now. Okay, sorry. All right. I apologize. Continue.
That was it. Just making sure that you get that back arm in there somewhere. Probably somewhere better than I've put it. I don't think where I put it is very clear. But yeah, make sure that you get that foot placement kind of equidistant to the box if that's what you're going for. It's in my head now.
I noticed that it's a Sonic theme as well.
What?
Isn't that Sonic from Sonic?
No,
Oh.
that's not.
Fine.
Wow, Michael.
I thought it was.
What is that song from?
Oh
It's like
my
a.
gosh. It's a meme, isn't it? So it's I don't know what it's originally from, but it's been circulating for years now.
Okay.
Evelyn says it's an old song from the old times.
Thank you so much, Pencil Puncher, for dealing with our silliness.
Yes.
And for submitting this animation.
We hope that it's been helpful.
Alrighty.
The hustle.
Who do we
That's
have
what
up,
it is.
up next?
Thank you, pal bro.
Up next is. I don't know.
We
It says
have
Renan's Temp.
at Cartoon Cow.
Cartoon Cow.
Is he gonna lift? Is he gonna lift him?
I'm so curious. I don't see a grid, but I'll reserve judgment until we've played it through. Have a look. That's great. Really nice character models here, like nice consistency of the characters. I would love there to be a grid so that I could see the floor plane. You've conveyed it pretty convincingly through the characters and the way they're moving, but I would still love there to be one. Otizimo screaming about the lack of grid.
Yeah, Evelyn triggered them.
Nice. Yeah, like this is very like nice and professional. Cartoon Cal, like super good work. Really nice expressions too.
You're welcome, Tiramisu. Thank you for coming by. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. I think that I would probably say just about the mechanics of this motion is I think if you were thinking to push someone over, I would place the hands initially lower so that when it gets to this point, we're pushing more at the side and less at like kind of just rolling over using the front of the character. So if I can...
Let's go the opposite route.
You want to do some
I
doodles?
I was just gonna say that, like, I think if you do decide to push it from up here, it's you could just extend some of that stretch. Have this leg stay down here, and so what you're getting is I'm gonna kind of make a grid on it. Like you're kind of doing this, right? Because it's not a solid shape. So it's like this. We're looking at it like we're looking right up the middle here.
You need to refresh it.
But refresh that. Why is the eraser not working? There it goes. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
Did you refresh?
Yeah.
Is this
There it goes. Okay. So we're like this is like straight on view. Here's his feet. So if you're pushing that, what's gonna happen is it's actually gonna drag. So if I go over one, that means that this foot here is gonna move barely. Because all it's like this, you know, it's this
like a
mass.
yeah, like a beanbag?
Yeah, and eventually it's probably gonna do something like this, right? And then eventually it'll go over here and then settle back like a waterbed. But I think like if you do decide to push from up there, then let's stretch the form by having the bottom here, linger. I think we have a lot of good sensibilities in terms of like spacing and I think the posing is good. I think you could just some of the drawings could be pushed. You know, when he really starts pushing into it, like there's a key here. Like I would get a red pen here. I haven't marched that bad. I haven't really. You know, just push a lot of these. Forms that you're making. This is kind of what I was talking about, like flow. Like, you know, it's like this shape doesn't really convey a lot of like motion for the body, but like focusing on that flow and that framing. Like here's the straight line where the leg is, and that's pushing this butt up. And this one here is flowing with that line, and that's here, and that flows with this line. But then the chest is arching up, and that's framing. You know, and that's giving the sense of like everything's pushing into this point, but then it's hitting a wall and it's kind of bunching up, it's squishing.
Yeah, something I was always told was that straight lines kind of denote power. So having that back leg be quite a soft curve on this key means that you're losing some of the sense of force you could be getting if you were to straighten it out. And really show that it's like extended to the max it can be to get that push going through the body.
You know, it doesn't have to be fully extended the whole way, but like definitely like working along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like keeping that in mind. If I was doing it, I might actually keep it slightly bent, and then here is where I would extend it. You know, bring the head up, whoa, like this.
Kind of want him to like straighten his arms out and for them just to be like sunk into this flesh.
Well, there's like a stagger against the flesh is like.
No, more just like his hands are almost obscured by just like them sinking into.
Oh, gotcha.
There's much more contrast between those two poses though. There's lots more information.
It's like bunch it up, stretch it out. Yeah. So like I think if I definitely agree that like if you wanted to lift something like this, I would, you know, you could also do it like getting the hands underneath.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, Ren.
I'm just trying to think of like material, and, like showing some of that.
Mm-hmm.
That sense of like gooiness that is that body. Oh, good little butt there.
Yeah.
You know, like how do you accentuate the weight? You know, if he's getting pushed over, he's got this arched back. This butt cheeks up here, but this one's probably pretty squished.
Yay! Squish that butt.
And, like,
I definitely think it'd be nice to like have the top half of him almost drag a little bit, rather than have him kind of rotate over in a uniform way where both the upper half and lower half of his body are both being pushed over at the same rate. He looks so dead now that you've adjusted the arm pose.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. Like even with simple designs, like just kind of pushing some things, thinking of shapes a little bit more in terms of like what their perspective is and like what's the direction they're going. Even like a still, you know, pose, they've got a direction to it.
Ren has lost his saggy bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's just, it looks so much more saggy now that you have done like more of an anatomically correct version. It's like it really now emphasizes the sag.
There's a crow mail there for you, India.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me for a sec, Pat. I need to do this crow mail.
Open the window this time.
Yep. R.I.P. Crow number 1. We have a crow mail. It's from
Crow mail.
Hold on.
Ada Lovely.
Let me.
Oh.
There we go. It's Ada Lovely says, "Potato God and Nugget Jesus is not just a snack, but a full meal."
God.
Thank you, Ada Lovely. That was disturbing. That was a sobering piece of information to receive. Thank you, Stamps, for delivering that message to us. Nugget Jesus. What do I have, Patrick? What is that? Oh, it's a crow mail. I thought it was a razor before you drew the back of the paper. Yeah. Crow mail's the best
I did
mail.
a thing. My God, my hotkeys are all messed up. Okay. Do your thing.
Oh, over to me. Over to me. The only other thing I'd say is maybe like watch out for tangents with your poses. Like here having the bottom of Ren's eye and the tip of his nose kind of just gently cusping around Stimpy's pupil.
Yeah.
Because I really like Stimpy's pose here, so I wouldn't want you to adjust it, but maybe like just look to push that a little bit further away, make very small adjustments to the pose just to make sure those two things aren't coming in contact and making it less readable.
Yeah, if you were to like move it slightly up, it would be in depth-wise him looking like directly into his eye, which could be cool for staging. Even though he's not directly over him. I'm not sure. What do you think of that idea?
I quite like him like just looking at the lump as a lump, because I like that Stimpy's stare is implied to be kind of a dead-eyed stare. So if you make that into eye contact, you kind of lose...
You lose that.
You lose the
Fair
fact
enough.
that he's basically just... At this point, he's just an object to be moved. Not a living thing.
He's an obstacle.
But yeah, just moving the head back maybe a little bit. You could maybe move the entire just character back if you have them on their own layer. Just to avoid that tangent. Avoid them tangents. I like how on model these guys are though. It's very cool. I mean, I don't know if I haven't watched like a lot of Ren and Stimpy, so I'm not sure exactly what the style is. If it's like okay for them to just be like off balance, I would say that Ren feels a little off balance here. Maybe just want to bring his legs a little bit closer to his form. Kind of looks like he's sitting on an invisible chair at the minute. but watch balance.
Yeah, because if he's just about to prepare for a step, as Patrick said earlier in the stream, he'd probably be leaning forward more to push himself. Like it's almost like as you start to lean forward, the motion goes into that fall and you catch it with your next step.
Yeah, you don't even have to start lifting the leg off the ground here. You could have like just him start to push himself up and then the leg could come off the ground later on. Of how cartoony everything is. Really like these poses and the contrast between them.
Godzilla, are you currently watching the first episode of Rise of the TMNT as a side thing? Because that's great. He's saying April is 500% unbridled feral rage, and I love it.
Yeah, she is. I don't know if you've got to the part yet where she does a
Leroy Jenkins.
A Leroy Jenkins. Yeah, you'll get there. It's great. She's great. She's like my favorite iteration of April.
Hey, Sofox, how you doing?
I feel like here when Ren gets back to his kind of default position, pushes away from Stimpy, bringing that back leg off the ground, it feels like he must have like insanely good ankle muscles on his other leg to be able to bring his weight back, basically just using his leg there. So I would be tempted to keep that foot on the ground where it was as he pushes himself back using it, and then step back a little bit later. Let me see where that foot was. Like here. Yeah, so it would be like still there. And then you could start to bring it off the ground here to step back into that pose. I can't unsee the saggy bum now. It's impossible.
Nice little expression at the end.
Like that the entire being of Stimpy deflates as the fart comes out. I'd be tempted to like leave him deflated. Or deflate him even more. Like just the air comes out of him like a Lilo. But yeah, I think this is great. Like awesome job.
Yeah, thanks for submitting to the challenge.
Very like cool on model animation here happening.
So that's Cartoon Cal on Twitter if anyone wants to find him.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Cartoon Kyle. And I know we only have 2 left, but it is going on 4:30 a.m. I should probably head out.
That's okay. Like, we understand. Your sleep is more important. So go and get some
I
good
hope
rest.
that I was able to provide some interesting animation information. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me, and thank you, Michael and India, for letting me guest on here, even if it was just for a little bit.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you on here, and thank you so much for helping us with the critiques and for dropping all that awesome knowledge on us. Like, we learned a lot too.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey.
Yeah. You have a good night's sleep, Pat. I hope that you have deep slumber.
Me as well. Alrighty. Well, good luck to everybody. Good luck animating. Keep being awesome. And make sure, for me, to give Michael and India lots of bits.
Oh. Stop. Go to bed.
Alright.
No one give us bits.
I'll
ban you from the
oh
stream.
my god, you can't say that.
India has no power here.
That's not a good business model, India. No, definitely give them bits. They deserve the bits. Look at all this work they're doing for you guys. And they make amazing stuff for me, and I can't give them enough bits. So
Patrick pays us exclusively in bits. This isn't true. This is a lie.
All right. Well, with that, I shall adieu.
All right.
You take
Thanks
care,
so much,
Patrick.
Pat.
Yeah. See you guys.
Night night.
Night.
There we are. I'm just gonna pop to the loo if that's okay with you guys before we tackle the next one.
That's fine,
Are
yeah.
you okay to chat to people for like 2 minutes?
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm fine.
Are you
Hello.
okay to be left alone with them?
Am I okay? Yeah, I'm fairly certain that I'll be fine.
Be nice to him, guys.
Hello. Hands up if you have any questions. Finally, it's just Doig. No, Patrick has fulfilled the quota of shill. Whoa, pal, bro. Thank you very much. You're so generous. 25 emotes shared. What the? Patrick, no.
You're right, my friend.
It is away. Ah, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying today and yesterday's review streams. It's been really fun seeing people like use different characters in different circumstances and really push their storytelling with this. So yeah, thank you, and thank you for the bits. The parkour remote is really cool. Oh, I just got a. What is this? What is this cheer? Let me see. It's a hyper reveal emote. Pat just went ham. Yeah, how are you doing, pal, bro? That was fast. Oh, okay. She's gonna go get a drink. She's bailing us. Evelyn, we've been talking about that, and we're trying to figure some stuff out. I can't really say much more without India being present or in the room, but I think she's trying to think up something that she can do that gives back as well. Maybe like buying something that you get something that she'll raise money with that way, but we haven't decided what or when or how or yet. So yeah, I've already got a drink, so I'm gonna take a sip. I did it. Yeah, anybody have any questions? Anybody want to talk about anything for the 2 minutes that the Rise posters pay what you want? That's not a bad idea. How's the imprint thing going? So I've changed our username over. So now we have a proper Doig Swift imprint store. I just need to spend some time putting the artwork on there and making it available. So those last steps, man. You're like, cool, I'll do this, and then like actually doing it is really stressful. Have we discussed what the new challenge is? Yeah, we had some thoughts. I think India knows. I hate to be that guy, but when can we see you play Bloodborne again? It's a good question. I'll need to get. I think my dad's up for it. There was a point where he wasn't able to do it for a bit, but I think he let me know that he's able to do it again now. I still have to fight Lady Maria, and I am looking forward to that horror. Bloodborne speedrun until India comes back. Oh sure, I'll be able to get to the title screen and load up the game, and then yeah. For those of you that are not sure what Kurzik's talking about, for the last couple of months I was playing through Bloodborne on the PS4, and my dad was on the chat because he's an experienced Bloodborne player, and he was helping me through. At times being really helpful, and at times being a troll. So I want to go back, and I've got all those streams recorded. I want to make like a series out of it. I don't know whether I'll do heavy editing on it or not, or whether I'll just let it be long plays. But I was really surprised he got super into them. It's very wholesome and everyone should show up for it. Thanks, Kurzik. Yeah, I think my dad developed a friendship with Kurzik during the streams, because there was one time when Kurzik was like absent. He was like, where's Kurzik? And
That's really cute.
yeah. And I think he popped in on some of her streams as well. I let him know when Kurzik was streaming, so.
Heck yeah. Well, your dad seems to really enjoy doing those with you.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you haven't been doing it recently? Is it just been like too busy?
My stepmom had hurt her back, I think, and he was helping her. I think she was having trouble like getting around the apartment, and
Has
so
it just been 1 week, or has it been a couple of weeks?
I think it might have been a couple of weeks now. He even messaged me on Twitter when I couldn't get the stream back on because of Wi-Fi issues.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's so nice.
my dad is a super nice and
What a sweetheart.
nice guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Doig's dad is really cool as well. Like, Doig's dad is, and Doig has probably said this on stream before, but Doig's dad is the one who got Doig into gaming in the first place. Like, he's still an avid gamer.
Yeah.
To this day,
after like 40 years or something.
Yeah, he gets all the latest consoles, all the ones that he's interested in, and like the latest games, and he's often the one recommending them to Mike.
Yeah, he's currently, last I heard, playing through Ghost of Tsushima. Or
Oh,
Tsushima.
nice. I've heard that's amazing. It looks so cool.
Yeah. I tried to ask him if I could borrow it, but I learned recently that they're adding co-op to Ghost of Tsushima. So
Play it with your dad.
we could maybe try and do a co-op game of that.
That's even better than just like encouraging your dad to backseat game you. It's actually, let's have a co-op Doig dad stream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would he have it on the console you would need though? Like, do you have the console he would be playing
Yeah, I think
on?
it's the PS4.
You should totally do that then if that happens. That would be really fun.
Yeah. I'll just I'll see if I can figure out how to gift him like PlayStation Online. Anyway.
Yeah, like, thanks so much to Pat for being here. Wow. Like, I gotta make my critique as useful as Pat's was now. I'm gonna get on him, guys, about that book, because I think that would be really cool. I think there's a lot of artists, especially like when I think of someone like Elle, Elle Power. I think she would have some really good drawing tips that I would love to see her put down into like a Knights of a Light Table collective tip book.
That could be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
The art grimoire.
Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. I'm gonna, as soon as Mystic wraps, I'm gonna make it more of a priority to try and get that together. Because it would be a great way to help fund the company as well. I think,
Yeah.
as well as providing people with value. And Pat has so much material for it already. It's really just a shame that he's not putting it down into a book.
We had bits thrown at us as well.
We did.
Yeah.
Who
Palbro and Patrick.
Palbro and Patrick. Well, I bet Pat's in bed now. I hope he feels the good vibes I'm sending him. Thank you very much, Patrick, and thank you so much, Palbro. Like, that's so cool of you guys. We really appreciate it. All right, let's have a look at this Tyrannosaur by @RoboSardi. Gonna press play. Oh, I see. So this is more just a heavy character.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really cool. He's picking up his heavy foot.
He is picking up his heavy foot. He's getting ready to come towards the camera. I'm a scaleward. What's he gonna do to me?
That's a really nice saddle on the head and the shoulders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the tail as well. The way it accentuates the action. It's almost like being dragged behind it.
Whip crack when it's whip your tail.
A whip crack with his whippy tail, and the beast was done. He asked us, "Be you angels?" And we said, "Nay. We are but trainers. Rock." Oh, I should have changed it to Brock at the end. That would have been good. I am a trainer. Brock. Anywho, let's look through this frame by
I
frame.
look down.
Oh.
Buffy, use the bathroom.
She's going. Alright, let me look through this frame by frame.
Is she able to get in?
Why don't you go and let her in?
Okay. Oh, it's a Pokemon, India.
Which, yeah, that's why I was. That was why I was like, we are but trainers, Brock. Mike's like, it's a Pokemon.
I knew it was a Pokemon, but I was reacting to the chat. I was being friendly. Jeez.
Okay, let me have a look at this.
Adder Lovely says, one day India should just do a stream where she just makes all sorts of peculiar noises because they're amazing.
Thank you. I'm really happy you guys think they're amazing and not like amazingly annoying.
Nah.
As I would anticipate.
I was playing D&D with India yesterday, and we're in the a big old dragon a city was built in a dragon, the remains of a dragon, and we're like, oh, what is there to visit in the city? And so it's like, oh, if you go towards the head, that's the high priest temple and whatever. And then India's character was just like, you want to say what your character said?
No.
She was like,
I want no part in this story.
What's in the butt? Unfortunately, the butt had not been excavated yet, and so no one knows what's in the butt of the dragon.
We have to excavate the dragon butt to find out. You should use your meld into stone to find out what's down there, Mike.
I can only go like 6 feet into the stone, so I can tell you what's 6 feet down.
So one thing that I noticed here is that the way that you have this grid set up and the way that you have the screen right foot set up here, when this screen left foot comes and lands down here, this is its final position. It actually feels like it's hovering just a couple of inches off the ground. It doesn't feel like it's actually connected to the ground yet. Because it doesn't match with the perspective of the other foot. Like, it doesn't match with how low down on the screen you have the other foot. In terms of the other foot's kind of contacting here. If you see. If I change this so that the drawings are held. Whereas this settling here, it feels like it's settled above where the other foot is, even though it's meant to be in front of the screen right foot. You see just here. So it actually feels like it's hovering off the ground a little bit. So I've just brought it down a little bit in the following frame.
Oh, I see.
To try and even that out and make it look like it's actually contacting the ground. It's gonna write, feels like it's hovering. You've got a case of hoverfoot. Which is like, it's easy to do when you have like a grid, because sometimes it can be hard to interpret where that grid's landing. But use what you've already set up with the other foot as a guide, essentially. We've got a purring cat next to us, that's pleasant. And let me change this to new sketch. So bring it down. I think it would be really nice as well, just as like a side note, to have the environment react to this foot coming down. Since they're so heavy, I'd love to see like when this foot comes down to actually have like cracks appear in the earth. Around the foot, as that earth is pushed up by the foot pushing down into it.
Yeah. Having the environment react to the weight of your character can help visually show to the audience just how powerful or weighty that thing is.
Yeah. And then you could have the same thing like with the other foot. You could have that already like in a bit of a crater. I think that would be nice. Just because you already have like this great camera shake going on. The other thing I wanted to just call out is I think this anticipation frame, you could get more out of this. Because this is this monster preparing to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the minute it's kind of reading as them just shifting their weight backwards. And the foot they're about to move doesn't feel very solid on the ground. It almost feels like it's sliding back. I think if you have the character compress a little bit more before they're about to bring that foot, because this character's so heavy, they're going to kind of be using it like a pendulum, right? And they have to bunch up their muscles before they prepare to drag that foot forward. And they're going to be using their head almost like a pendulum. So rather than have this just pulling backwards, I can see there's like, could be a nice arc with the head here coming up.
So it's like an S curve, like down first, then an up.
So that's more like a C curve. So just, yeah, down and then up. So I would lower this head down. Lower this head down. Take it down to the river. Let me get a red pen, actually. I wish to do this in a red pen. Bring that head down, punch that. And when it comes to this foot, make sure that you like make it really feel grounded. Make sure that it makes sense with the previous frame. And then compress that knee onto it as we get ready to move it. Bring the weight of this giant beast downwards. You can dance if you want to.
He must say yes. Make him say yes.
Yo, Corin, thanks for the follow.
Hey, thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, Kurzik. Oh, Kurzik being a good mod. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurzek. Well, much appreciated. Because what's happening here is that the weight is shifting over from being on equal feet to being mostly on this foot. So we're going to get a little bit of body rotation here. And we're going to get the weight dropping onto this foot more. I like the toe splay here. That makes sense if the weight is going onto that foot.
Mm-hmm. I quite like the squishiness of the knee as well. On that right foot as they come forward.
Yeah, so we're just transferring the weight onto this here. Buffy, I swear.
Give her a key.
I gave her a kiss.
Give her a key.
I did. Gave her a little kiss on her shoulder. She's so fluffy. It's rare that she comes over here and sits next to me.
You should give her some room, I think.
I don't have any room to give her, unfortunately. Her tail is over the top of my screen right now, making it somewhat difficult.
She might need water, I'm not sure.
But yeah, there we go. We have this like feeling of rotation. If we bring that, we imply that shoulder, the screen left shoulder is rotating outwards a bit and pushing the arm away. So let's rotate this shoulder across a little bit more to really get that feeling of rotation. There we go. I think that will flow a bit better. You see now we're having this nice C curve happening with the head.
Yeah.
And probably the last thing that I'm going to call out, because I think this is really nice, is just a tail. It feels like it kind of goes back into a more flat position here at the end. I really like the way that you're showing the depth of the tail here. Like, I can imagine it going back into space like this. I think the shape language you're using is very competent in communicating the depth there. I'd love to see that more with the last pose of the tail. Because it feels like it becomes more just a 2D symbol again here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't necessarily feel like it's connected to the back of this monster, and the back of this monster is like going out like this and has a tail connected to it.
Gotcha.
You know, it feels more like it's a flat cardboard cutout stuck onto the side of it.
So how would you show that?
So I would keep using the cues that you've been using previously. So knowing that probably this is where the tail's going to be joined, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to be quite far back from the front of the creature. If you're wanting this kind of shape, I'd just do it more like this kind of dealio. I'm sorry that my drawings aren't quite as efficient and nice as Pat's. He can communicate very clearly with just one line. He mentioned that his were like chicken scratch. I think mine are more like chicken scratch. I have more superfluous lines that don't actually need to be there. But something more like this to show the depth.
I think that's just good old artist self-deprecation. They can't see their own work.
Maybe. So... Oh, I wonder why that sketch is still on there. Let me just get rid of that. So probably, let's see, let me just take it through frame by frame. So here, we've just swung around. So it feels too soon for the tail to reappear. Because the tail is still like doing this dealio, right?
Yeah.
And then we have the tail start to appear.
Oh yeah, we've still to get to Ola's submission. Thank you for your patience, Ola.
Yeah, thanks very much. I hope this isn't distracting you too much or going on too long away from your work.
I think those are really good notes, India. It really feels like there's a weight to the tail now, just with that.
Yeah. Well, you're conveying the weight super nicely already, but you don't want things to travel too fast if they're heavy, essentially. So the end of the tail can travel quite fast, and I like this whip movement you have. But be careful about turning it into a 2D symbol rather than thinking about it as a 3D form.
Yeah, because you can use the center line of the front, as India showed, like where it's going to connect at the back. And if you have the tail sort of like come past too far, then it's almost like breaking the solidity that you're conveying with the main drawing.
Yeah. I think this is really nice overall, though. You definitely convey the weight of the character. It might be really nice as well if you wanted to like go ham on it. When the weight is pushed down on the front foot and we like contact the ground, to have the head like do a bob almost. Like we're pulling up the weight with the lower body here, and then the foot contacts the ground and the lower body sinks down, and that pulls the upper body down and that pulls the head down.
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting like this real feeling of scale of like the movement rippling through the Pokemon until it reaches the head, to have that like delayed head bob. I think
That's
that
really
would
cool.
really help sell the weight. Oh, I hope your work's going well, Ola. Heck yeah. But awesome at RoboSardi, really nice. Like, good job. Let's hop on to at Honey Blossom Bun.
Yay!
We have another character with a tail. Let's have a look. Thank you for the grid. The songs I'm singing.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice bit of character acting.
Oh.
Well, they tried. My favourite part of this is probably the character acting at the beginning. Like, I'm just a fan of that in general.
It's a shame you don't get to review that part.
I do.
I'm just kidding.
This is my review. I like it. It's good.
Cool.
Like this bit is particularly nice. The feet feel nice and grounded as well. That foot there could maybe stand to be a little bit further back, just for the balance of the character. And I will show you which foot I mean through the power of drawing. Let me make my pen a little smaller. Like, I think just maybe pushing it back a little bit here would be helpful. I say putting the knee in entirely the wrong place. It's fine though. Who needs knees, right? Right, guys? Who needs them?
Who needs knees?
Just again, like, I forget what the bone was that Pat was referring to. I always say the clavicle because I know the name of that.
Oh, the one in the center.
Yeah, the center point.
Yeah, clavicle, sternum, Mary. It's in the notes.
It begins with M.
Yeah.
If that helps anyone. There you go. But yeah, like, because this character's weight's like shifted backwards a fair amount here, you can see he's pushing his hips forward a bit and the back. We just want to make sure that they've got a very steady foundation and that the center point is kind of landing between their feet there. At the minute, it's landing a little bit close to the screen left foot, which is making them feel like a little bit like they could topple backwards. Whereas this is a bit more stable.
I think it's called the manubrium.
Manubrium.
I think, anyway, according to this diagram.
I'd be tempted even to push like face forward a little bit to counter that S curve of the back. But yeah, just look to get that position feeling a little bit sturdier. And then I think this bit feels a little fast for me. It feels like I kind of lose track of where the body parts are. So they're like crouching down here. And then the back heel is coming off the ground, but also the other leg has now shot forward. And now the leg closer to the screen is shot forward. And we're trying to lift. So I think maybe just give a few more frames to this to let the motion play out. I know it might not feel like the most interesting part of the animation, but it can be if you have fun with the posing.
Every part can be the most fun.
Yeah, like really detailing, like they're opening up the arms to get ready to embrace the box. Oh, the embrace of the box! Making sure that we're keeping like that anatomy there. And maybe giving that back a little bit of a... would it be concave that I'm thinking of?
Concave, yeah, would be... This is concave. This is convex.
Yeah, a little bit of a concave thing going on, so we can contrast it when they get to the box and their back does a reversal. Is what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to push that thigh close to the screen and have it actually come toward us. Like, a lot of people get scared of pushing things toward the screen, and so they push it to the side instead, which can sometimes make the pose feel a little bit weaker. So don't be afraid to do that. Just go for it. And then we contrast that with the convex. And since we're like going to be leaning against the box, I'd keep that foot on the ground while we lift the other one off. Like, really make sure you work out what the steps are that they're going to be taking. So it makes sense. And then you can like drag those hands a little bit, which might be fun. Rather than have them immediately around the box. Or you could even do a smear or something. And then that step will feel a little bit more motivated and a little bit more centered in terms of the weight, because we have that back leg supporting the rest of the body as it's doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And then that back leg can come off the ground and step forward. And then we get a nice twist as well, because we get the side of the body here and potentially the back of the body there as this arm comes round to the front. Let's look at the actual lift itself, the thing I'm meant to be looking at.
Hey, preparing for a lift is as important as lifting the thing itself.
It's true. I think also the fact that it's on ones. Sorry that my character got like a little bit too small here on this last pose, so just be aware of that. I drew them too small. Just to let you know, you would have to enlarge this. Too small. Yeah, but because you have it on ones, it might be best to like maybe put it onto twos instead. That will probably go a long way to making it feel less rushed.
Do you feel like you would see the other hand come if they're able to reach like that corner of the box? You reckon you would see the other hand? Oh, you do a little bit.
You do a little bit. And I would say that feels a little bit strange though to see the other hand, because their face is around this side of the box, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're basically peering round. So their hand has to like... Assuming it's this, their hand has to like stretch across here and potentially go there like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard for them to reach the same extent that they do with
fair.
this hand,
Yeah,
because their body's shifted to one side of the box.
Gotcha.
So they might be doing something like more like this. I'm not sure what they're doing with the other hand, but it might be good to know, to plan out what they're doing,
He was a yes.
so that you can get that feeling a little bit more.
Mr. Bear Draws, thanks for the follow.
Thank you. So, let's see. Yeah, I think the position feels a little bit odd here. Because I'm assuming that this foot is like forward in space from the box. So they're essentially straddling the box here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me make sure that I'm getting this perspective right, because this is important. So it feels like, yeah, it feels like their foot is slightly in front of where the box is on this plane. So they essentially have their foot around the side of the box, right?
Yes, I think so.
But that means in order for there to be even weight distribution with the box in the center, the other foot would have to be like here.
Yeah.
Which is kind of impossible. And also the distance of this foot from the box is meaning that this knee has to push inwards, which is a very unstable position to lift from. Like, you generally want your knee to be over the top of where your foot is. So you have like a good support system there, a good hierarchy of your limbs. Having the knee pushed in like that means that it's going to be much more difficult for this character to lift. So I think I would be tempted to bring this foot in closer to the box, so we can have the knee directly above it. Maybe even push that knee forward a little bit. And then the other leg would still need to be like there.
Hello, Totar.
Hello. She's kind of impossible. So we need to work out a different positioning for that leg. I think the box is like... hold on. The box isn't too wide. I don't think. I think it's just that the character position would have to be changed drastically. Basically from where the core of the character is.
Does the character move closer to the box as they get into the lift?
I don't think they do.
Okay.
Because you would essentially want your pelvis to be here. But then that wouldn't. It's difficult to work out, guys.
I think if they're sort of wrapped around one side, maybe they're like lifting it more from the corner than from...
Yeah. I'm trying to work out the foot placement.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm trying to... Essentially, this box shouldn't be too wide for them to straddle, so I'm trying to work that out with drawing as to why it feels like the drawings aren't working.
I think you're trying to mirror too much, maybe.
Mirror?
Like, if I were approaching this for instance, I could put one foot on the side and one foot behind it still. Like one here. So you can see one path and the foot goes from here. I don't have to put it all the way.
I know, but you should be able to. Right?
Yeah.
And that's just the point, the sticking point for me is just that I can't seem to make the drawings work, so I'm wondering like what's up.
I think the hips are too far back. If you really had both feet on either side and you were bending down, it would have to be effectively like across the way up again.
Yeah, and I've put that, but it still didn't work. So I'm trying to work out like what I'm doing wrong here.
I gotcha. I think it's because the knee is bent. They would have more of a straight leg if their butt was so far back.
Hold on. Here we are. This is working better. There we are. Yeah, and then their torso would be like against this plane.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got it, guys. I'm satisfied. I was like, why is this drawing not working? But yeah, sorry, to continue with the critique. Basically, I would bring this foot closer.
They're lovely. If it was kneeling, that would be way more difficult to get into a standing position when you were lifting.
Yeah, I do think we need to bring the butt a bit lower. But if we bring this foot more around the side here, and then the back foot is the question. It's like, where do we want to place that? And I'd probably do what Mike suggested and just have it like slightly off to the side.
Yeah.
Here. And I'd sink that butt down. In fact, let me push that back a little bit. Because I'm going to go with what feels most natural. Push that knee higher.
So Sync Sketch is it's a tool focused on reviewing and analyzing animations. So you can upload footage to it, and then it converts it into a way where you can do drawing over on frames. It's not necessarily a good site for straight up drawing.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend like actually using it to do an animation or anything. You could, but I wouldn't recommend it.
There are better free software out there.
Yeah, like Krita is one. If you want free animation software, Krita is great.
If you like the collaborative aspect to it, because what Sync Sketch provides is a synced experience for others. You could try Drawpile. It's pretty good.
Yeah, because Drawpile allows 2 people to draw at the same time, whereas this doesn't.
Yeah.
This, you have to have one person drawing or another person drawing.
I've never used OpenToons, but I think...
I've heard good things
It's
about
good,
it.
yeah.
It's been recommended lots of times to me by people.
Is that not one that's used in anime production?
I do know
a
that
bunch of the
Ghibli
time.
used it for something.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, so we're round the side.
Amateur earlier said that looking at this kind of makes my back hurt, and this pose makes my back feel better.
That's good. I'm just trying to get like a feeling of balance and solidity to this, because they're going to be lifting from this position. We've got to make sure that they're not going to destroy themselves, essentially. So they're still kind of lifting from the corner here,
Gotcha.
but I think the pose feels a little bit more natural. The one thing I'd say is probably the arm. Like, this arm is fine to just like come around like it was, pretty much. The other arm, I'm not sure what that would be doing. 100%. Has to be said. Like, probably this.
Yeah, you probably use the left hand as like a stabilizing it so it doesn't topple over to the left, and then use the right arm as more of a like lift.
Yeah, and I'm pushing the heel back a little bit here, so that the weight of the knee is more over the foot, to counterbalance the butt, essentially. And I'm going to bring that foot a little bit more to the front, I think.
Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah, so I think this feels like a more natural position to try and lift from. Because here, with them being having their core a certain distance away from the box, like it would even be here, given that it's they're looking at the back face of it.
Yeah, that position feels more like they're about to attempt to pull it rather than lift it currently.
Or push it. Like,
yeah.
You know, you can imagine them having their hands flat up against it. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna push this now. But yeah, having the center of their weight further away from the box means that it's going to be more difficult to lift. So you want to really get all of your weight under and as close to it as possible. So when you push up from your knees, you're getting all of this like back muscle and butt muscle into the lift.
I like that this animation feedback has turned into how do you lift, bro?
How do you even lift? And then when we get to, say, this pose, where I like that you've thrown the head back here, we're essentially showing that there's no progress by having the hand stay in the same place, which I like. And we're going to concave that back, right? And stick that butt out. Is they're desperately trying. And find that knee's pushing forward a little bit as their butt is pushing forward. But their foot is staying in the same place. Oh no, what have I done? Hold on. There we go. I accidentally drew a little bit on the previous frame and it erased my drawing.
Yeah, Gab Madrid, you're feeling the force now in that pose. Good, good.
Good. Good, that's what we want. That's what I like. That's what I like.
It's a goodle doodle, India.
Thank you, Michael. So yeah, we're trying, and that shoulder's like pulling back as we're trying to lift from the knees here, but nothing is budging. So let's see. Here, when you have it start to actually move, it feels a little bit like it's pushing forward. Let me move this back so we can see it before and after of these two poses. It feels like the heaviest edge, like one of the edges would stay on the ground, I think, rather than everything coming off at once. Like, I'd be very tempted to leave this corner in the same place.
Yeah, because
and just
otherwise
have that start to rotate back.
Otherwise, they're both lifting the object, tilting the object, and pushing the object in one movement. And if they're not able to fully lift this thing, that's a really controlled movement all at once.
Yeah, it doesn't speak of the struggle of really trying to get it off the ground a little at a time.
Yeah.
So
what's so important about conveying weight is like the spacing and the timing used. If something is just ever so slightly off, you send mixed signals.
I'm not very good at drawing straight lines, unlike Patrick, who can draw a perfectly straight line by hand. What a crazy man.
I think because he draws from his shoulder.
What are you saying
and you
about...
draw from your wrist.
Damn it, I do. True. But yeah,
Hey,
I'd
wait for a thing for a change.
keep this rooted.
Polydino, thank you for the subscription.
Thank you very much.
You got yourself some egg.
You got an egg!
We have a breakfast sandwich icon thing going, so if you notice, we've got people with butter toast, people with bacon, people with cheese, and now egg is the 6-month one. Sparked interest. Cool, thanks. I'm looking to get into animation. Would Clip Studio Paint work, or should I find Flash CS6 crack somewhere?
Clip Studio Paint's good.
I think depending on what version of Clip Studio Paint you have, I think the more expensive one has more animation features built into it. In terms of software, there are free alternatives as well, like Blender and Krita. I would say the timeline is a little easier to use in Krita than it is in Clip Studio Paint from personal experience.
I will recommend Krita forever. Like, I love Krita. Krita's so good and it's completely free.
But once you get used to each of them, they're fairly comparable. The thing that is pretty cool about Clip Studio is maybe all the painting stuff. If you're familiar with it, you might be able to start drawing faster. Krita has a wonderful brush engine as well. So it's really just apples and oranges and swings and roundabouts at this point.
Yeah.
I would say if you were just starting out animating, go for a free solution so that you don't feel the pressure that you're like having to spend money on something that you're just kind of starting to do. And then once you get comfortable with it, then you can start to see, oh, you think you have X, you got it during a cell, then just go for it then. If you already have it, then no worries.
Yeah, good call. I like this little leg shake you've got going on here. I think it feels a bit odd just because the overall position, like the pose of them lifting, isn't quite working. The pose of them lifting doesn't feel very stable. It feels like an in-between. And for them to have the leg shake, they kind of need to be in a position where they can hold it for a sec while their leg takes the strain.
Yeah.
I think your torso might be getting a little bit long here as well. So just be aware of that. I do like the idea of having that leg shake there though. Like that's nice to show the strain. I think it just needs to work with the pose to really convey the strain that they're feeling. Like just moving the butt up a little bit because it feels like it's a little bit low right now, and it's making the torso feel a little bit long. I think your foot might need to be in a more stable place as well, so I'm just gonna see, and then we have this topple forward. And let me just see how the weight's going here.
Ice Blokey, we have done some 3D animation in the past, but we predominantly focus on 2D animation in our professional pipelines. I personally have used Blender and used that for like camera movements and environments in past projects. So I'm really interested in the hybridization of like what's possible, mixing and matching 2D and 3D. But yeah, a little bit of experience. Sorry. Go on.
So here the box is leaning backwards and then it just kind of rotates forwards and that causes the character to fall. But it doesn't really feel like that tilt is motivated by anything. I think it would make more sense to have the character perhaps try to lift it again and lose balance.
Okay.
Which causes like them to fall with the box, then for the box to rotate in space and then to kind of drag the character along with it. Just because since it's leaning on the character, there's like no incentive for it to rotate back the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the character would be able to make it rotate back the other way because they'd be using just their wrists to do that. So I think maybe having the character try to stand and then just like lean too far forward and overbalance.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. Like in their attempt to gain elevation, the center point would sort of like shift forward.
Yeah, like having them maybe like... Oh! And for the box to kind of get away from them. And for that to like drag them down. I think makes a little bit more sense.
Oh. I like your
Put their
sad
foot
face.
Up into the air. They're like, oh shit! As it tumble. To have box tilt be motivated. Character try to lift. So what's your spacing here? Just because we're having this fast movement of them falling forward, right? And then you have two very, very closely spaced together frames here on ones. I'm not 100% sure why you need them. Because that could just be one strong drawing on a two. So, like, in terms of the spacing, I think it would be stronger to go straight from this into this than to have that very tight in between in the middle.
Okay.
I like this pose. I think that you could, like, really drag out those legs and have them, like, take a minute to land and offset them as well.
I like that the tail, you could, I don't know if the tail does this, but with it sticking straight up in the air, if it hits that impact, you could have that sort of like, you know, a cat's tail or something goes really straight, like they've been scared or shocked or hit.
Yeah.
You could have that sort of like keep it in the air for a little bit and have that kind of like...
Oh, have it bristle.
Yeah, like, wow. And then come down.
This amazing calf muscle I've drawn. It's just like it's a Popeye lump.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I'm just going to answer some questions in the chat. People are asking about the use of 3D in Starlight Brigade.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
The only rendered 3D model that made it into Starlight Brigade was during the planning table. There's a point where you see models of the flagship and the triangle and some ships next to it. Those were done in 3D. The rest of it was like 3D maquettes that the animators would use as reference for the ships. There's a shot where it's a zoom in on Strive in his ship when it goes from like outside the ship up to his face. There was sort of like pre-viz done with that where I took a camera and placed it and moved it toward him, and then I passed that to Elle, who like hand drew and did the camera move as using that as reference. I then took her animation of that and I created a sort of like, it's a kind of a ad hoc 3D environment in After Effects, which was just created by using 2D planes. So there's like a 2D plane that's kind of angled so that you see it as a flat plane in After Effects, and I tried to hand key the motion inside After Effects to match that camera zoom. But yeah, all the other ships that you see in there, they're all lovingly drawn and hand animated.
Oh my gosh. I hate them so much.
You hate the ships in Starlight Brigade?
I hated drawing them. Oh my gosh, like, I was like, I love having everything hand drawn. This is such a good idea because it'll make everything feel very authentic. And then when we were animating, I was like, why did I make this decision? Like, it took so long to animate those shots of the ships because the ships are so complex, and it was very difficult to keep them consistent because there were differences between the sheets for the ships and the models we were using for reference.
Yeah.
There were like key design differences between them, and knowing which ones to take was sometimes quite confusing. That was my bad as a director. I should have paid more attention to making sure you and Elle got them consistent to one another.
Yeah.
That's something I definitely learned from that project. Like, I don't regret the results because I'm really happy that we got everything to be hand drawn. I think it does like really help to make it feel like it's a Saturday morning cartoon from that era. But the time it took, oh my gosh, guys, the time it took to get those ships animated up. Because what we would do is we would frequently use the reference for the keys. We would strongly reference them and rotate around, take screen grabs, and then adjust those poses to get our keys. And then we would in between by hand. And like, they're just very complex models, you know? Yeah, I would keep those legs up just a little bit longer in the air. And I'd probably keep that tail up and bristled for longer because I like that idea, Mike. And I think as this is on ones, it passes by a bit too fast. So I would keep it bristled a little bit longer into the following frames. You really have fun with that tail.
He must say yes. Let's make him say yes.
Thanks for the follows.
Yeah,
Rats,
thank you very
Fats,
much.
and Acid too. Yeah, so it was your baby. Yeah, 9 month gestating. So
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like approached about it
Imagine.
around about March, April, but production didn't really start until May.
Maybe bristle up tail? I won't draw every frame because it'll take way too long. So let me just get rid of these drawings of the tail setup. And then we have this character entering. And this character feels quite big to me in comparison to the other character
I think
at the beginning.
maybe he's I think he's meant to be bigger.
Yeah. But whether they feel almost too big in comparison to
Yeah.
the scale of the character initially. Hold on, let's see. Maybe not. They do feel very large. It feels like maybe they could be just a little bit smaller. It especially feels like maybe some of the scale gets a bit wonky here with the proportions in relation to the proportion of the body versus the head, and how they end up feels very different.
Yeah.
So just watch out for that. And I think when they bend forward, just a small like anatomy note is it feels like the minute like they're bending forward with their pelvis kind of staying completely still in space and just their leg and their torso moving. When we bend down, we do it primarily from like the hips and the knees. We don't tend to just fold our torsos. So I think that would look a little bit more natural if they had like more of this kind of thing going on, where you just sank the torso down a little bit and bent those knees. Just a little. So you're engaging the entire body in that motion, rather than just folding the torso over on itself. Engage pelvis and legs in bend. Whole body, not just torso. And then I like this little punchline at the end. It's like this character is gone. He tried to lift too much.
He left too much too soon, too hard.
Yeah. Super nice. Like, just watch the anatomy on this this other character in the back here. That is not feeling too unnatural. Again, with just like the weight of where he's placing his legs, the way his arm is operating. You know?
Yeah.
Generally just looking to make that feel a bit more natural. scooping that butt underneath, going concave with the spine.
I like Patrick's advice earlier where he was saying like if you have to have a character like hit a mark in a scene to start there and work backwards so that you know that they're gonna get there in the time that you need.
So you don't get the curse of the straight ahead animation
Yeah.
where they just end up where they end up because that's what happened when you animated it.
Yeah. So I think in this case a lot of what's happened here is like maybe they've started them where they started them and set up the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then had to be like, oh, I have to get them to the box. But if they'd started this scene here of like, I have to have him crouching in this position, how do I get them there?
Well, let's just have him kneel. That feels more natural, and also like it's less symmetrical. But it just feels nice to have that space there to really like frame the character. You know,
it's also a lot easier to lift with one arm when you have that planted knee down.
Yeah. Like, this just feels like a more natural position to me to be in.
Because otherwise, if you were to lift someone up, you would have to lean away from them because your center of balance would be like wider.
Mm-hmm.
Reverse pose to pose, sort of. It's like it's where you start from the end pose and work backwards from it because it doesn't really matter where a character enters from. It matters where they're going to more.
Yeah, it's like if you think about storyboarding it, if you're gonna have characters do an action in the center stage, then that action in the center stage is more important than the first frame of them entering.
Yeah.
You know, so you want to prioritize what's going to be telling the story the most.
Yeah.
Make that super clear.
We attended a workshop by James Baxter, and he was animating a dog drinking some tea, and he drew the first pose.
He drew the dog drinking the tea first because that was the important thing.
That was what the scene was about, and then he had them walk in, but he planted the feet backwards as he went.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like awesome work, Honey Blossom Bun. I love that you're keeping these perspectives going. I like that you chose a perspective that's challenging as well. Like you chose a 3/4 with like quite heavy force perspective.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. There's no better way to improve quickly than to try stuff that's like slightly out of the comfort zone. So like really good job. Mainly the thing that I would look at is trying to make those poses feel naturalistic. And I think a really good thing to do to get the poses feeling natural is take reference or look at reference of someone lifting something.
Yeah, see what you do unknowingly. Just like, how do you shift your weight? How do you prepare? Where do your feet go? Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's cool. I was done.
I was going to say, because I've seen a couple of people in this challenge try and lift a very heavy object with the characters keeping it a distance away from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like extremely hard to do unless you have incredible grip and arm strength. So it's much more natural to cradle the thing that you're trying to lift into you.
Yeah.
So you can use your own body weight to like scoop it up. So just bear that in mind. Reference is your friend. And then we're on to the final one. Which is Ola. And I have a suspicion that because it's Ola, probably there won't be too much to say critique-wise about this. We can all just enjoy seeing things done well.
So this is from Poopy McPoopface, brackets Ola. And the notes that they gave was, spent 1 hour on this shite.
Nice! 1 hour. Is everyone ready to be astounded? Let's have a look. This poor dude. Oh, he's so crushed his internal organs. This person is not long for this world.
Lifting with their leg there is important.
It's different. Like, I like how different it is. Like, I feel like it was something I could like call out as being something I would want to see pushed more with this. It's when they...
Everything.
No. Where's your grid, Ola? Oh my god, that's not it. When they finally do manage to lift it. Look at that amazing stretch frame there, everybody. Like, also, like, just to call out how great it is to see like Ola working with such a fast shorthand. That's something I'd encourage everyone to do. Even if you end up doing quite tight characters at the end and having, you know, them fairly clean, definitely starting out roughing it with these like very fast gestural drawings really helps to convey the force. And it's way faster. Like, Ola did this entire thing in an hour. It's way faster to animate with a very simple character like this and then to build on top of it than it is to start off with something very complex. Evelyn said I did this with my turtles. Yes. The thing I was going to say I'd like to see pushed is because this boulder's so heavy, when it whips up super fast here, I feel like the momentum of it should keep it going a little bit to the point where it overshoots and this person has to like compensate with their spine to try and like keep the balance on one leg.
Oh yeah.
As it's whipped up. So it like, look, we have it come in. I'm just going to trace it so I can get the feeling of the movement. Come in, and then we're on ones. We're coming up in this like S curve. And then I'm like tempted to keep this like going and have the character have to like push it slightly down with their foot. That would be, you know,
Nice.
that kind of whoa. It's too heavy for me and I've overshot kind of dealio. And then maybe they try to like push it up one more time, but the strain is too much for them, and we end up just bam straight into them. God, that person is so dead. They're so dead though, Ola. You committed a murder. Can't believe you flat out murdered.
I love the little feet jitter, like
Ah! He's like, Uncle! I'm tapping out!
He's just resting. What are you talking about?
We don't know, Ola. I was just talking about how it might be nice to, when you finally have this boulder shift from its position. Wow, I made the boulder too big on that frame. I was just tracing you here. Have it maybe just overshoot a little bit because of the momentum of dragging it up and finally getting that thing moving. So the character has to like kind of rebalance with their spine to stop the boulder from like falling on top of them, which they eventually fail in anyway.
I call this out again, but I really like the way that Ola uses the nose of his shorthand of his characters to show like face direction.
Yeah, he doesn't need the crosshairs because he has that nose doing the work for him. Like, really nice shapes here. Look how we have like this lovely wave go along the character where we straighten, plant the foot, and then the hip gets dragged along. And then we have like this lovely like width motion of the character following through there. Ooh. That's just really nice. And I really like how the simple way that you draw your characters allows you to do stuff like that very easily. Because the torso is essentially just this kind of rectangular trapezium shape. It's not a trapezium. It's a... What's the word?
Cuboid? Cylinder? I
don't know. It's a rectangle. It's a skewed rectangle. You know, it's super easy to get all kinds of body positions.
Parallelogram would be a skewed rectangle.
You know, you have all the points you need there. You can do contrapposto.
Rhombus.
You can do a stretch with one arm going up. Like, it just depends what you do to that.
Oh, trapezoid.
Yes, there you are, that trapezoid. It's the magic carpet, essentially, again. If you guys want to see that in action as an entire character just being this kind of trapezoid, then check out Magic Carpet from Aladdin. That thing emotes
Yes.
using just its squareness, its rectangular nature. Allows it to show all the emotions.
Are we googling GCSE math shapes now?
I knew there was a name for it, I just forgot what the name of it was. But yeah, nice use of recycled frames here. I really like the fact that your character's using his foot, because that's unusual and fun.
Oh yeah. I say trapezoid, and India's like trapezoid.
Well, it is trapezoid, isn't it? That's how I was always taught it.
I don't know.
Is it not?
I say trapezium, but trapezoid.
Yeah, look at the lovely arc of the head here too.
It's good.
Like, lots of really nice arcs going on. So dead.
I like that it slips off their foot, like they're kicking and it kicks past. It just goes through. It just goes through them, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sucks for them. It might be nice to like kick that foot up past since it slips, just to like really emphasize that. Ugh.
His pain scream haunts us all.
Yeah. This frame. Ah! Ah! Yeah, beautiful work, Ola. Like, really cool. That's the only thing that I would like adjust about it. I think it's really fun and super fast. So I definitely I'd say that's a good thing to take away from this.
If you guys aren't familiar with Olulukin as well, I'll let you know something after this. I didn't mean to interrupt you, India.
You didn't? Please go ahead.
If you guys don't know Olulukin, fantastic animator, you should check them out on the Twitter.
Oh wait, we don't actually have his handle on this. Can we? Can you find who he is on Twitter and I'll pop it on so anyone who wants to follow can.
Okay.
I mean, we could just type it into chat. That'd be faster. But
I don't know it.
there is no handle. Lies. I know there's a handle because I follow you. I'm a milkman. No milk today, my love has gone away. The bottle stands for lawn, a symbol of the dawn.
Follow this madman animator.
Follow him. Okay,
He does more than Stickman.
there you go. Much more than Stickmen.
Yes.
But yeah, we got through them all, guys. Look at that.
Oh, high five!
Ah, happy Animorning, everyone. Amazing work, everybody who submitted this week. Super happy we got Pat on here too to learn us some stuff.
Yeah, I learned some things.
Yeah, me too.
Mm.
So, this week's challenge.
Wait.
It's back to boards, yo.
The boards.
Back to boards, and this time we're going to focus on character acting.
Oh.
I want you all to board me a very short scenario. I want you to focus on character acting and tone. It should be probably no more than 10 seconds, I'd say. Just to, like, give or take. Like, definitely don't make it minutes long. Like, have mercy on yourselves. But rather than tell you exactly what I want you to do specifically, I'm going to give you a theme and just tell you that I want you to evoke a dark mood with it and focus on the character acting. And the theme is going to be stalked.
Stalked.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's in stalking something, not as in, I gotta stalk a corn.
Cool.
Yeah, this is your guys' opportunity to show me your dramatic side with your boards. And we're going to be focusing on critiquing the storytelling and how you use your acting cues. Careful not to over-animate. Remember that these are boards.
Yeah.
And the acting is going to be one of the tools you use to convey your tone. So it's not like we're looking at these going, oh, this acting needs more frames. This expression needs to be more like this. It's more like the way your character acts is going to help you convey the tone, the dark tone that you're going for.
Yeah, compositions are going to play a big role in this as well. How can you communicate that someone is being stalked purely through composition as well?
Yeah, let's set up a cool scenario in the boards.
Like it.
Yeah, and try our best to use fun, unusual compositions to try and convey a feeling to the audience and keep people on the edge of their seats.
Yeah, because animation could deliver such horror if pushed. So let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah, let's try our storytelling. The storytelling is more important than the acting. Think of the acting as a way to convey the story, rather than the other way around.
Cool.
Yeah, should be fun. Tasty. Ola's like angry face. Bored! I'm sorry, Ola. Maybe after that we'll animate them, who knows? It depends on how well everyone manages to stick to them being short. If you guys want to animate these boards afterwards and be that, like, have that as part of a challenge, then you can't make them long. Or I'm not going to let you do it because I'm going to be like, there's no way you guys are animating 40 seconds of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, like, if you're intimidated by it, just remember it can be really short. It doesn't need to be more than like 3 panels if that's what it takes to convey your story.
Ring a ding bling bling. I'm going to make them feature length.
No! Bad. What do you have there? A movie? No!
Hey, what do you have? A movie. No!
Don't do it to yourselves, okay?
It's so good.
Okay, guys, we're going to have to go because we've got much work to get on with. And I'm sure that you guys also have much stuff to be doing. Thanks so much for joining us, though. If you've made it through the entire thing, then holy guacamole, thank you. If not, we hope you're enjoying this VOD. Let's find somebody to raid. There's Tim Remmers.
Find somebody to raid. I don't know, I haven't looked at the list yet.
We've got Tim Remmers. Shapey After Hours. Geninator. Lindrox.
It almost got me. Twitch and its stupid like auto play. Oh.
Where have you been dropping the links for people to check out these critiques, by the way?
I do them usually on the VOD.
Okay.
So,
cool.
But I can drop the sync sketch to the people now.
Okay.
In the chat. Share. Copy link. Yeah, if you want to check out your feedbacks, here they are.
Yeah, everybody greet the people from the future who are looking at this VOD.
Hello, VOD watchers. All right, I'm between Tim and Lindrox. You pick.
I don't. Well, Lindrox has fewer, so
okay.
Let's go and say hi to Lindrox.
Cool. Let's do it.
Run while you can, VOD watchers. It's too late for you.
All right. Here we go.
Tomorrow we'll be doing stuff. That's not this. That's our own project. So join us then if you're interested.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Or don't.
But have an awesome day. Best of luck with your projects and everything. I hope everything goes super well for you guys.
And until then,
may the rest
of your day
be filled
with
hard adventure.
69 viewer raid. Yes.
69.
Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye bye.